vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company.
Starting at 2 o'clock right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. In Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be back with you guys today. Yesterday, we observed President's Day. We were off. I asked Rob if we could do the show, but Rob's management now. Rob's management. And since we worked on MLK Day, and when we could then use that as a floating day, Rob now is management, wouldn't let us do the same thing with President's Day. We had so much to talk about, but you know what? We still have all of those same things. We're going to begin with Tyreek Hill. We're going to do that coming up in just a bit. We'll take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. We don't have to deal in the hypothetical as much anymore. We got an emoji from Chris Jones. We need a sounder when we get an emoji from an NFL player. He put "it's time," like he was Bruce Buffer or something. It's time. Is Tyreek Hill coming back to Kansas City? We'll get that in a bit. Kansas State has fired their head coach with cause, they are saying. We'll get into that. The NBA All-Star Game happened this past weekend. They got 8.8 million viewers. They got more people than watched the baseball All-Star Game. They got 4 times the amount of people that watched the Pro Bowl. We'll talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend, and I am officially at the point that many of you are at. Please, let's cancel the dunk contest. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to spend another Saturday of my life watching guys I've never heard of before do in-game dunks. Please take us out of our misery. There is a lot to get into in today's show. We're really happy to be back. I'm here. Rob is here, taking you up until 6 o'clock. Let's get into Tyreek Hill. But first, I need to remind you of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, it is a Tenderloin Tuesday with our friends over at the other place. Let me get the sheet here so I can tell you how much it costs. They got a half-pound hand-breaded pork tenderloin and fries, $8.99. I'm going to say it again. They got a half-pound hand-breaded pork tenderloin, and you can get a side of fries for $8.99. And then if you're thirsty, if you need something to wash it down, they got a 25-ounce domestic mug, $5. You can get the pork tenderloin and the domestic mug and leave a tip and be out of there for about $18 to $19. Why don't you just go ahead and round up to 20 and just do your part? Really happy to be back with you guys today. All right, let's dive right into it. Because sometimes I think you guys hate Chiefs hypotheticals. I guess this is still technically a Chiefs hypothetical, but when Chris Jones is tweeting to Tyreek Hill, it's time, what did you guys think we were going to lead the show with? I think it comes down to 3 things. I'm going to call them the 3 M's. It comes down to money, mood, and the medicals. Why don't we go through all of them? The medicals, I think, are very, very simple. I'm not a doctor. I have no clue. All I can do is listen to the doctors and trust the Chiefs to do their due diligence. Let's say that the money works out, and we'll talk about the money. Let's say that the mood is right, whether it's the mood in the locker room or the mood of the front office. It now comes down to the medicals. Tyreek is coming off a significant leg injury, an injury that he still needs to have surgeries for. Well, Carrington, how do you know that? He said it 2 days ago.
My recovery's going good, bro. Like I said earlier in the stream, I got to have one more surgery. You know what I'm saying? I have more updates on that on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys follow me, have been following me throughout this journey, man. It's been, it hasn't been as rough as people try to make it seem. You know what I'm saying? But I will say with me, filling my time with, DJing and traveling to all these different places, I will say that it has made it a lot easier for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying my life. I'm enjoying myself, man. So, but yeah, I have more updates whenever I'm about to have surgery.
So that was Tyreek Hill on his Twitch page talking about where he is physically. Now, that's Tyreek. We'll play a doctor here coming up in just a bit. I cannot speak to the medicals. You cannot speak to the medicals. NFL teams are going to have to speak to the medicals. I believe that Tyreek Hill is going to play again in the National Football League. I believe that Tyreek Hill is going to play again in the National Football League this season. But you would be crazy to not factor in the fact that a speed guy, maybe the fastest guy that we have ever seen with the football in his hand, is having significant leg surgery and is coming off 2 significant leg injuries. What does that mean for him as a player? What does that mean for his future? What kind of player is he going to be back in a post-surgery world? This is a surgery where the expectation is not for you to just bounce back. He's not Wolverine that you can just regenerate and then be the exact same player you were before the injury. It is going to have some effect on Tyreek Hill. Is it 5%, 6%, 8%? I don't know the answer to it. This is why you pay your medical staff a tremendous amount of money to put you in a proper position where you can make the correct evaluation on a player of Tyreek Hill's ability. But number one of the 3 M's is the medicals. I don't care if the money checks out. I don't care if the mood checks out. If the medicals are not where they need to be, then the Chiefs should walk away from Tyreek Hill. So you heard what Tyreek had to say. Let's play for you Dr. David Chow, friend of the show, at ProFootballDoc on Twitter. Here's what he said about Tyreek's injury.
I'd love to see Tyreek Hill continue to play. His injury is significant, though. His early season injury was a knee dislocation. This was by video, an immediate worry for nerve damage, peroneal nerve palsy. He appeared to have the nerve palsy when he was seen walking after his initial surgery. He's said to need another surgery per his own post, and he's been cut by the Dolphins, likely with a failed physical designation, although that hasn't been specified yet. He won't be able to sign with another team until he can pass another physical, and so it remains to be seen when that might happen. He's 31, I believe, and any significant knee injury, much less a knee dislocation, is in the career-threatening category for the type of player that he is. I certainly hope it's not career-ending. I want to see him back. Where he lands will be a different story, and it seems more likely that would be closer to later this season or next season than right now. Wishing Tyreek Hill the best in his recovery from his knee dislocation and potential nerve injury.
It is important to note with Dr. David Chow that he is not seeing Tyreek Hill. He is basing this off his experience as a doctor and what he is seeing on film. So I don't want to take that like it's the end-all, be-all. Now, that's not good. You shouldn't be encouraged by what you just heard. But again, that is not the end-all, be-all. But that is a part of this conversation with Tyreek Hill. It is the medicals. How is his knee? How is his knee going to hold up? Is he healthy enough for you to even consider? Now, I'm not naive enough to think that teams don't pass guys who would fail physicals. That happens all the time. But if Tyreek isn't healthy, I'm not pushing him through the physical and living with the outcome. Call us up when you make a decision. I don't think that Tyreek is making a decision right now when it comes to his knee, and I think you need more information before you strongly consider whether or not you want him on the team. So let's get that M out of the way. There's 3 M's. One is the medicals. What are the medicals going to look like for Tyreek Hill? Number 2 is money. Now, given all of this information about the medicals, you know one player I'm not super interested in breaking the bank in, it's Tyreek Hill. Now, I'm not super interested in Tyreek Hill to begin with, but we know the Chiefs love reunions, and we'll get to the third M, which is the mood of the locker room, the mood of the front office. I do think there is a sentiment inside the Chiefs organization that they are open to a reunion with Tyreek Hill. But we also know this is a business, and how much is it going to cost? Now, I am not giving Tyreek Hill a multiple-year contract. You could sell me on this if it's a 1-year, $8 million deal with incentives based on how much he can play, how big of a contributor he is. You could sell me on a Tyreek 1-year contract. It's hard to go wrong with the 1-year deal in the National Football League. You never are sunken by a 1-year contract. I mean, you can drown because you sign some bad multiple-year deals or you make a bad free agent investment, but on a 1-year, $8 million deal, it's hard for me to think that that was why you couldn't get to where you needed to go as a team. So if the money is right, I'll listen. I'm not breaking the bank. I'm not giving you 2 for 42 like Cooper Kupp got. I'm not giving you 2 for 46 like we saw Devontae Adams get. I'm not making a significant financial guarantee when it comes to Tyreek Hill. If you want to come in and you want to maybe not play in the first couple of weeks of the season because you're still recovering, we'll use you a little bit more for the second half. If you're willing to get in where you fit in, and you want to get back to winning and playing important games and being a part of the Chiefs kingdom and being a part of the system, part of that is financially signing up for this. You've made enough money in your NFL career. We made a decision to trade you based off money and giving you what you wanted. If you want to come back, you got to do something for us. We need you to do this financially a solid for us. Okay. Again, I'm not interested in Tyreek Hill. I'm going off what the Chiefs do. I'm going off what I think can happen. And the fact that Vegas has the Chiefs as the number one likely destination, you can go on your favorite gambling app right now and bet on Tyreek at 2-1 to come back to Kansas City. We got to talk about this. The last thing is the mood. I don't think your mood matters here. I mean, I'm not saying they don't ever care about you, but they are not making free agent moves, in my opinion, based off fan sentiment. No. I think they're basing it off, how does this guy fit in our locker room? And only they can answer that. If I told you 3 years ago, hey, I can see into the future and the Chiefs are going to welcome Kareem Hunt back with open arms, the text line unanimously would have said, no, he'll never come back. He lied to Clark Hunt. He'll never accept him again. I was here. I saw it. And they seem to love Kareem Hunt. He seemed to be a brother to Travis Kelce, seemed to be embraced by Patrick Mahomes. There seemed to be a lot of love, mutual. I don't know if the contact ever really ended between both sides. So yes, he had to kind of accept his role and come in and be a number 2 and keep his head down and do the work. But I think Kareem proved all of those things. I think he proved it to them. I think he proved it to the front office. I think he proved it to us. And I think Kareem Hunt is fully embraced by everybody. The mood part of this is very, very important. I would say that you need all 3 of these things line up in order for this to work. You need the medicals to line up. You need the money to line up, because I'm certainly not overpaying for a 31-year-old wide receiver coming off a significant leg injury and possible nerve damage. We are not giving you $22 million guaranteed if that's the case. Absolutely not. So you need the medicals to line up, you need the money to line up, and ultimately, if the Chiefs aren't feeling it, then we're wasting our time talking about it. Now, they're not going to come out and publicly say it, but when one of your captains, one of your star players tweets him the moment he gets released, it's time, that says something. I don't think that Chris Jones does that if he knows that there's a sentiment in the locker room that we don't want you back. Because the last time he did this, it was Mike Pennell, and everybody wanted Mike Pennell back. I don't think that Chris Jones, as a leader and a captain, does this when you know the kind of waves it's going to send throughout the Chiefs' kingdom. I don't think you do this if you know that he and Pat got beef. I don't think you do that if you know that Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill got issues with each other and they don't want him back. I do think that tweet is a bat signal to us that he is welcome inside the locker room. It'd be one thing if this was from somebody that you hadn't heard of on the Chiefs team. This is from a leader. This is from a guy that's been around. This is from a guy that knows Tyreek Hill. Does the coaching staff feel that way? Does Andy feel that way? Does Eric Bieniemy feel that way? And most importantly, does Clark feel that way? If Andy and Bieniemy feel that way, then I think he is going to be on the team. Let's see what the money looks like. Let's see what the medicals look like. And ultimately, we'll see what the mood of the team is and how open they are to a return. We're going to be joined by Kellis Robinette coming up in about 15 minutes, but you got some time to take your phone calls. 913-586-7965. We'll be talking about this off and on today. Tyreek Hill is a free agent. Are you interested in Tyreek Hill coming back? Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry nonstop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppable beads to your wash for 24-hour nonstop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Prostate cancer. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime, but early detection can save lives. That's where KCUC comes in. They're the premier center for urology and oncology, with over 50 elite providers and more than 20 locations across the metro. KCUC makes it easy to get screened fast in the comfort of an office, not a hospital. Schedule your screening today at kcuc.com. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. kcuc.com. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
We're going to be talking about this off and on today. The phone lines are open if you want to chime in. 913-586-7965. Someone just texted this in. C-Dot, Charles Davis was on the show yesterday. Charles Davis was on the show? Rob, hold on. You getting outbooked by the backups? You telling me that the replacement guys coming in and they getting Charles Davis on the show? Where were you at? What were you doing?
I wasn't here. I don't know how Charles Davis was here.
You knew Charles Davis was on our show yesterday and I wasn't here? All the news we had yesterday. And you were like, nah, you got to take the day off. You really might be the ops. You want to know why you wanted me to take off? You wanted me to take off because Darren Peterson changed his avatar to a Michael Myers mask and he scored 10 points.
I'm not going to lie. I was scared.
I would have been cooking Darren Peterson on this show yesterday, and you knew it. Can't change your avatar to Michael Myers and then go out there and score 10 points and an ass whooping.
I mean, I was very scared watching him play.
Yeah,
terrified.
I was too.
It's nervous times.
Yeah. You know who else was scared? The first two rows of fans at Hilton Coliseum because Kansas passes were flying everywhere. With the duck, so many turnovers and balls thrown out of bounds.
To be fair, I've now learned that Hilton's impossible to win at. Just ask Houston.
Of course. So text it in. Charles Davis said this. This is how I would describe it. Have you ever watched a really good movie and then, hold on, I got to pull it out here. Hold on. Have you ever watched a really good movie and at the end of the movie, they want to make this? I can't read this. It's all completely just bad. I thought I had it, and then I tried, and it was in 8 different parts. I couldn't do it. Basically, to summarize it was a great original. It could not be the same sequel, so it's not worth trying again. I would counter with, I could make that point at offensive coordinator. Everybody likes to move. If we were saying it was really good the first time, there's no chance that the sequel is as good as the first time, so let's not try it. I could make that exact same case about Eric Bieniemy. I was making that case about Eric Bieniemy. You guys told me to shut up. You told me that he was the disciplinarian that this team needs. 3 weeks ago, we were having all this conversation. So you guys have opened my mind up. That's the biggest reason why we're talking about this, Tyreek, is you guys love reunions. I like what you guys like. You guys want old Chiefs players to come back and be the assistant coaches? I'm here for it. I got to play the hits. I got mouths to feed. I got to make sure Rob's getting new sweaters for his birthday. I got to get these takes off. Rob, do you want Tyreek back? You know my stance. My stance is a no. I do not want Tyreek back.
Me and you are in lockstep here. No.
I'm shocked that you don't want him back.
No on Tyreek. Why would I want him back? He's 30-something off a major injury. Like, I know Dr. David Chow does not see him as his physician, but the fact that Tyreek's saying he got hurt early in the season last year, it's February, I got another one lined up. People think he got cut because of a failed physical. There's a cut in there. Tom Pelissero talked about on NFL.com, on NFL Network, Hey, he might not be back at all in 2026. No.
Well, if he's not back, then it doesn't matter. Then we're talking about this for no reason. If we're not even sure if he's going to be on the team.
My point is, if Tom Pelissero is hearing that from people in the league that they don't know about his ability to play at all because of his injury, I'm not saying every team will feel that way or like the medicals actually check out that way, but that's a fear in February, then pass. He does not solve any of their problems other than number 10 jerseys go back on the shelves.
He might be somebody you can maybe pick up at the deadline if that's the case.
He can be.
And you can get him for the dirt cheap. This is where I would say, of all of the things, this is the thing that appeals to me the most about him is I would say that this is the most risk-free possibility you'll ever have with the player, the skill of Tyreek Hill. Now, we just got this text. Hey, C-Dot, he'll listen to Coach Reed. That's why I think he could be a good fit. 2 years, $30 million. No, I'm not giving Tyreek that. I'm only interested in Tyreek Hill for the cheap. I'm only interested in Tyreek Hill as an open box item. If you were telling me that Tyreek, he is a buy low candidate, that is not a bad buy low candidate. And the reason I don't think I can be hypocritical in this, and I know my stance has been younger, cheaper, all of those things. Rob, if I'm Buffalo, I'd be interested in Tyreek Hill. If I'm New England, I'd be interested in Tyreek Hill. I would at least call and find out and ask. If you're telling me that you can get Tyreek Hill for the same amount of money that the Chiefs got Hollywood Brown last year, then I think you roll the dice. Now, I'm not going to say that's the only move you need to make if you're either one of those teams, but if I think those guys are good enough for Buffalo who could use a wide receiver, if I think that guy's good enough for New England that could use a wide receiver, if I think he's good enough for Denver who could add him into their offense to try to get a little bit of explosiveness, why would he not then be a good fit in Kansas City? So for me, how I would rank it based on these three things. Now, the mood part is maybe Patrick Mahomes just says, I'll never work with that guy again. Please don't put that guy around me. Well, then we're having this conversation for no reason. But Rob, I actually think the money matters more than the medicals here. We see a lot of times that teams are willing to take a chance on a guy with poor medicals. I know it's a different example, but follow me here. Michael Porter Jr. You and I know that Michael Porter Jr.'s back has been messed up the entire time that he has been in the NBA. But the talent is there enough, and if you put him in the right system and make it work, you can still get enough production from Michael Porter. So I'm looking at the money-wise when it comes to Tyreek. If you were telling me that you can get Tyreek for around the same contract that you gave Hollywood Brown, I would be interested in bringing Tyreek back. I'm not interested in a multi-year contract. I'm also not interested in a $12 to $15 million deal. If you were telling me that there's a chance, like, If in February we're having these conversations about the medicals, it's probably even worse than we think it is. There's a chance the medicals are really bad if that's the case. So I'm rolling the dice. If it works, great. It's a buy low possibility. If it doesn't work, then we can just simply release you and then just move on with the rest of our lives. That's how I would do it. But 2 years, $30 million, that's making a commitment. I would not make a commitment to 2026 version of Tyreek Hill, regardless of who I am, given the concerns that I have about his health.
I think that the money and the medicals are tied together, and because the medicals are so bad, supposedly, or I believe the medicals are bad, I don't know that you can give him any money. So I'm a no for medicals, but I think the medicals and the money are tied up. And I also say, if you're like, hey, I think the medicals are good enough, let's give him the Hollywood Brown deal, does your offense get better? Like, you don't know about the medicals, and you're giving $12 million, I guess $8 million in incentives. Like, did your offense go from 18th in the league to, 7th? I don't think so at his age with his health. I am way more concerned about the medicals than I am the money. That's just me personally. And I think the money needs to be very low for me to get over my medical fears.
Coming up in just a bit, we are going to be joined by Kellis Robinette. Kellis Robinette covers the Kansas State Wildcats. They made a little bit of news over the weekend. You guys remember this guy?
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
They fired him. He said, I'd wear a bag over my head too. God bless. No, you need the blessings, brother, because they fired you. After that game, you were never walking back into Bramlage Coliseum again. They made sure of that. After you said this in front of everybody, they made sure that you were never, ever going to coach another home basketball game.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer and no words. So y'all got two questions. So whoever want to ask two questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed.
We only got two questions. How many people cover Kansas State basketball? Everybody can't get one question in? We got two questions. Y'all got to huddle up and figure out who's going to ask these two questions. Well, we don't got to ask you any more questions because they have since relieved you of your duty. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Kellis Robinette. He covers the Wildcats for the Wichita Eagle and also the Kansas City Star. Kellis, how you doing, my man?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Been a busy couple days, but yeah, doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. So let's just start with this. Are you surprised that he got fired while the season was ongoing? I think we all kind of knew that this was not going to be tenable, and it was going to be hard to sell this to fans for 2026 of next year. Hey, come out, get season tickets. We're going to turn this thing around. I think we had reached the point that you had to move on from Jerome Tang. I mean, this thing happened pretty quickly after those comments. Are you surprised that he got fired throughout the course of the season?
I thought they would wait until the end of the last game after the Big 12 tournament to relieve him of his duties. Much like you, yes, I didn't see a future with him in Manhattan. He'd lost too many games. He'd lost the fan base. He'd said too many silly things, let's call them silly things, in press conferences, and it just wasn't working anymore. So I didn't expect him back next season, but I did think he'd make it at least until March when they let him go. But, yeah, I was down in Houston for the game down there, and I don't know, something just struck me kind of as odd that the coaching staff took, they lost by 14 in Houston, which admittedly was better than some expected. But they just seemed really happy to have lost that game by a lesser margin than some thought, and that struck me as odd. And so I wasn't totally caught off guard when I got back home and somebody tipped me off that this might be in the works. But I did think he'd make it to the end of the year. This is the first time, to my knowledge, that Gene Taylor has said a coach can't continue coaching.
All right, so let's start with this because the news is that they are firing him with cause. Now, you know way more about this situation than me, but when I hear with cause, I'm thinking about what happened in Michigan. Yes, if your head coach is sleeping with the staffer and threatens to kill himself, they absolutely have cause to void your buyout. I don't think that's the case here with Jerome Tang. It just seems like he said some stuff that upset some people. His basketball team wasn't good enough, so now they're letting him go. The with cause is why I think this has evolved into a national story. What's the latest on that? Do you think there's a chance that this is going to go through for the Wildcats?
I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you. The timing of it, with Kansas State being the only power conference basketball team with an opening, combined with the unusual situation where they decided to fire him for cause rather than the more traditional without cause, has turned this into, a national story and something that people are going to be looking at for a while now, because it looks like Jerome Tang has hired attorneys and he's going to fight Kansas State's decision here. It's an interesting move by the Wildcats. I certainly understand that they were stuck in a difficult situation with his contract. He has a buyout of $18.7 million. Understandably, Kansas State would like to lower that if they can. But there's quite a bit of debate as to whether the reason that they're stating that they're firing him for cause would hold up in front of a judge or in front of a court. We've already heard quite a few people come out and say that they didn't have any problem with his statements after the Cincinnati game, and that includes some Kansas State players. I asked Abdi Bashir in Houston what he thought about it, and he said he didn't think Coach Tang said anything wrong. So, if it made it all the way to a trial, I think it would be hard really for either side to come through and say they definitively, win the battle. I think more likely than not, we're heading to a settlement here, and that's probably the play on Kansas State, threaten to fire him for cause and hope that he'll reluctantly agree to a smaller buyout number. But based on the statement that Tang's attorney put out earlier this week, it seems like they're determined to, recoup as much of that money as they can.
I don't know if you've ever hired a lawyer before, but the kind of lawyer I want is the one that would release this kind of statement. This is Tom Mars. This is one of the lawyers that Jerome Tang has retained. And he said, and I quote, "If Kansas State's presidents and AD really think that the school was embarrassed by recent actions, that's nothing compared to the embarrassment that both of them are about to experience." I wouldn't want it in a legal dispute with somebody that is willing to say something like that. They are absolutely preparing for a fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you're gonna take that route, you want to have a junkyard dog in your corner. And Tom Mars is a very prominent, high-profile sports law attorney. So I think it kind of shows Jerome Tang's mentality that he retained him as the person who's likely going to represent him here.
Right now, we're talking to Kellis Robinette for a few more minutes here. He covers the Kansas State Wildcats. They have made the decision to move on from their head coach. They are firing him with cause. We'll see how that holds up. Kellis, you know K-State as well as anybody. Was there a point when you realized that this wasn't going to work because it got off to such a great start? And Jerome Tang is such a likable individual. They've done really good in the portal. They've done really well with NIL, but it feels like for really the last 3 years, they keep falling over themselves. Was there a point where you realized that this Tang wasn't going to work anymore in K-State?
Well, I mean, it was a bizarre fall from grace. He'll go down as one of the bigger one-hit wonders in college basketball history because that first year was, I mean, outstanding. 26 wins, Elite Eight, Marquise Noel, Keontae Johnson, Naquan Tomlin, Desi Sills, just a great group that Kansas State fans fell in love with. And it was Jerome Tang's first year ever as a head coach at the college level, and it seemed like a future star was born, but that turned out to be the peak of his powers right there. He never could figure out how to put another team together like that, and I think the real problem was just everything aligned for him perfectly in year one, and then he kept going back to the drawing board and trying to, I don't know, come up with answers that there weren't problems to. Every other year, the team's assembled in a completely new way. One year he fell in love with NIL money. The next he wanted Europeans. The next he wanted, this, that, and the other. It just was never the same formula, and that's why I think you saw some wacky results. And did I think a time came up where I really thought, his future was in doubt? I would just say, really, I mean, just with the start they got off into Big 12 play, as soon as he started just saying weird things in press conferences and just couldn't agree on his messaging, that just kind of really threw me off. I think the first time that made me think his time was short was when he came out and blamed the NCAA for changing rules on him as the reason why he wasn't winning. That just struck me as a very lame excuse, and it just kind of went downhill from there.
Last couple of questions here. First one is, where do you think K-State fan confidence is in Gene Taylor to make this hire? I mean, from a football perspective, I don't want to use the term lucky, but he hired his best friend for the first one. The second one, they hired maybe the most famous alum this side of Darren Sproles. He had a basketball decision. They whiffed on the basketball decision. You now got a substantial buyout. You got to pay the assistants. You got to do all that stuff. It looks like you're headed towards a legal fight, and now you got to turn around and try to get the best head coach possible. Are K-State fans confident in Gene Taylor to find the right man to get this basketball program back on track?
I mean, his confidence in him is waning too. It's weird, much like we were just talking about with Jerome Tang 2 or 3 years ago. People would have said this is potentially the best athletic director in school history, and now he's really gone the other way here with some decisions that have happened in the past year. You're right. Bringing in Colin Klein to replace Chris Kleiman was a slam dunk. It happened in a day. It was the obvious choice. It made everybody happy. There's not that option out there for basketball. I suppose Brad Underwood would be the guy that would unite everybody, but I don't think he's coming back, and he's definitely not coming back tomorrow. I think it's interesting that Gene Taylor said basically he's going to take the exact same approach to hiring a coach this time that he did with Jerome Tang. He's going to lean on the same advisors within K-State. So basically it'll be the same 3 people hiring a coach that did it last time. And Kansas State has only been to one NCAA tournament in the last 7 years, so the status quo isn't maybe the best idea here. So the pressure's on him to get this one right, definitely.
Give me a couple of names that you would throw out there. You mentioned Brad Underwood. I mean, that would be the boy come home. I really don't know why you would leave Illinois' job for K-State's job. Like, I like K-State University. I like Manhattan. It just feels like we're 6-7 years past having that conversation. There was a chance to get Brad Underwood. You missed that opportunity. He's now got that thing rolling in Illinois. I'm not leaving if I'm him either. Who are some realistic options in 3 weeks? We'll end up hearing that K-State has hired who?
Yeah. So let's say Brad, as we expect, says thanks, but no thanks. Some other, I think they'll go pretty much like they did with Chris Kleiman. I think they'll focus to bring in an older coach, somebody who's got a lot of experience, maybe not at the highest levels, but somebody who's won everywhere he's been. I would kind of say bringing somebody with a high floor, not necessarily a high ceiling, just somebody who's going to come in and bring back respectability to the program. I think some options would be Josh Schertz at St. Louis. He's won at Division II. He's won at Indiana State. He's winning right now at St. Louis. Jared Calhoun at Utah State. He's got a long history of winning at both Youngstown State and Utah State. Eric Olin at New Mexico, same deal. He turned San Diego from D2 into a D1 power. Now he's winning at New Mexico. Those are three names that I think would be really good choices for him. I think an established coach who's won at a mid-major level, ready to make the jump up, that's probably the most likely way they go here.
That is Kellis Robinette joining us on the show today. Longtime K-State beat covering us on the show today, talking about Jerome Tang, who was let go as the head coach at Kansas State University. Kellis, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you whenever K-State determines who their next basketball coach is going to be.
All right, I'll come back on anytime.
Absolutely. That's Kellis Robinette joining us on the show today. Let's react to what he said coming up on the other side and the possible options for Kansas State as they are moving in a new direction basketball-wise. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
Football season is over, but there's still plenty to bet at Circa Sports. From pro and college basketball, hockey, and everything in between, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for futures on March hoops, props on your favorite players, and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hold on tight. Things are spinning into action. At Harris, Kansas City on Saturday, February 28th, it's the $50,000 Spincredible event. Take your turn at the giant prize wheel and spin your way up to $5,000 in free play. And the excitement keeps turning because at 10 p.m., one lucky winner will walk away with $50,000 in cash. Keep those entries rolling with 5 times entries on Sundays, February 15th, 22nd, and Friday, February 27th. Spin big, win big. Only at Harris's Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you love seafood, pull up anchor and set sail for Hy-Vee's annual fish and seafood sale. Get a whale of a deal on all your favorites for Lent. Salmon, tuna, trout, and catfish. Seafood lovers shrimp, crab legs, and lobster mac and cheese. Eating seafood twice a week has major health benefits. Count on Hy-Vee to sell only the freshest seafood backed by the Responsible Choice Guarantee. All hands on deck for the annual seafood sale going on now at Hy-Vee.
One thing I love doing is going to Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and finding everything I need. But sometimes we're just very busy. With 2 girls in high school right now, we are swamped. So we use Hy-Vee's aisles online. I go to the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. I choose the store I want, I select my items, and then Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. All I have to do is pick it up or, better yet, have it delivered to my home. So I'm going to save time and I'm going to save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Stay warm and worry-free with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Get a new furnace absolutely free with the purchase of select HVAC systems. The pros at Hamilton make upgrading easy with flexible financing, expert installation, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your monthly energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW-1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Drew Brees here. Whether you're on the field or on the road, having the right team on your side makes all the difference. I learned that the hard way. On the field, you don't go anywhere without a solid O-line. And when your car breaks down, you want that same kind of protection. That's why I trust CarShield. Their protection plans help you tackle expensive repairs so that you're not blindsided.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees. And when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C. Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here. We were just talking to Kellis Robinette. Kellis Robinette covers the Kansas State Wildcats, and we were going through some of the possible options. We don't got to spend all day talking about Jerome Tang. He's old news. Now, I'm sure we'll go back at some point, but right now, let's move forward. Let's talk about what the future looks like for Kansas State athletics. Now, I asked Kellis, hey, who are some of the possible options? Who are some of the names that you're floating around? Who would you like to see be the next head coach? Here's how he answered the question.
I think they'll go pretty much like they did with Chris Kleiman. I think they'll focus to bring in an older coach, somebody who's got a lot of experience, maybe not at the highest levels, but somebody who's won everywhere he's been. I would kind of say bringing somebody with a high floor, not necessarily a high ceiling, just somebody who's going to come in and bring back respectability to the program. I think some options would be Josh Schertz at St. Louis. He's won at Division II. He's won at Indiana State. He's winning right now at St. Louis. Jared Calhoun at Utah State. He's got a long history of winning at both Youngstown State and Utah State. Eric Olin at New Mexico, same deal. He turned San Diego from D2 into a D1 power. Now he's winning at New Mexico. Those are three names that I think would be really good choices for him. I think an established coach who's won at a mid-major level, ready to make the jump up, that's probably the most likely way they go here.
All right. Now, K-State fans, I know the tensions are high right now. I've been spotting you on the tweets. And you guys have united. You feel like the national media is picking on you guys because of you firing Jerome Tang and why with cause, and you guys have assembled. I want you to know that I'm on your side, that we want the same thing. But sometimes I feel like people in my position are afraid to tell you guys the truth. You are not getting Utah State's head coach. You are not getting St. Louis's head coach. Now, I know this is going to hurt for you to hear this message, and you're going to go Power Cat and tell me this is why you listen to the other station, but someone needs to tell you the truth. If you were the hottest mid-major coach available, would you take the K-State job? Just asking honestly. Because if you're the head coach at Utah State, they're 22-3. There's going to be bigger jobs that pop open than Kansas State University. That's just kind of how the coaching cycle works. You guys were just the first ones to fire your head coach. Would you take the Kansas State job if available? If you were St. Louis's head coach and they're 24-1 and have a chance to make a little bit of noise in the tournament, would you take the Kansas State job? Would that be the job that you would take if you're ready to make that next step? No, you're not taking the K-State job. So you got to get it out of your head. You're not getting Utah State's head coach. You're not getting St. Louis's head coach. They are going to go to bigger programs with more basketball history than what you guys have. Now, let's be realistic here. Now, the Chris Kleiman approach, I don't think is a bad approach. going the Mark Turgeon route, and I'm not saying Mark Turgeon. I know he just signed with UMKC, but I'm just saying a little bit older, established head coach. You go get him to be a little bit of a program stabilizer. You guys have made the tournament one time in the last 7 years. That's difficult to do. That's bad. That's not good. So I don't know if I'm an agent, I'm advising the hottest candidate out to go take the Kansas State job. No, I'm taking something with a little bit more. I need something a little bit more solid than what I think the K-State basketball job is. But you guys have a great fan base. You guys have shown that you're willing to spend money in NIL. You can attract talent. And the Big 12 is an exciting conference that you would want to be in. I would be looking at this not in finding our forever coach. I'm looking at somebody who can be there for the next 3 to 5 seasons and get this thing back on track. And then when you repair the basketball job, then maybe you take a little bit of a bigger swing. You took a chance on Jerome Tang. But now I think we are starting to find out, or we found out a long time ago, why it took Jerome Tang so long to get a head coaching job, why he was available. Jerome Tang, who was deemed to be one of the top assistants in college basketball, didn't take a head coaching job until he was 55 years old. I think we are starting to get our answer with why. He wasn't a great coach. He was a very good recruiter. Hey, go out and get me guys. You go get guys for Scott Drew. Scott Drew will come in and coach him up. He had a great thing going. There's nothing wrong with being a good number 2. Curtis Townsend lives an amazing life. Curtis Townsend has no aspiration of leaving Bill Self's side. No, this is what I do. I'm not trying to be a head coach. I'm pretty sure that people have reached out to Curtis Townsend. Hey, do you want to come be a head coach? No. No. I have no interest in going to be a head coach. In fact, he's never been a head coach. He's been by Bill's side this entire time. He knows his role. Hey, I go get the kids. That's what I do. I go get the kids. Bill's not getting on those planes to do that. Bill's taking one trip. He's going to see Darren Peterson. He's going to see Andrew Wiggins. He ain't going to see Devontae Graham. That's your job, Curtis. That's what you go do. You go see Frank Mason. You bring Frank Mason to me, and then we'll coach him up together, and we'll win championships that way. That's who Jerome Tang is. He's Curtis Townsend. So go back to Baylor. You're going to go to Baylor with your money stuffed. You got all this cash that you just got from this buyout. Go back to working the NIL. Go be somebody's general manager. But yeah, come on now. You guys, you're not getting St. Louis's head coach. You're not getting Utah State's head coach. That is not the mark. You are going to be very disappointed if that is the kind of head coach that you think you're about to get at K-State.
Let me ask you this, because I actually don't disagree. I think just because they're first in looking for a coach does not mean they're the best job looking for a coach. But isn't what you're describing how they ended up with Bruce Weber? Hey, it's a low ceiling, high floor, established coach who's done some winning, can bring in a culture and can immediately add respectability to the program. I've seen them do that. That's how they ended up with Bruce Weber. That's the exact logic John Curry used when he hired Bruce Weber. Hey, we need someone who's going to raise the floor, all this stuff.
Bruce Weber would be a great hire for Kansas State right now. The idea and concept of Bruce Weber is what you should wrap your arms around. I want to read this text really quickly because I would say, and I think this is a small percentage on the text line, so I don't want everybody to text in to get mad. But there are some players and coaches that you guys just can't let go of. Trevor Bauer is an example. Every year, hey, let's go get Trevor Bauer. No, nobody is going to get Trevor Bauer. He's down in the Mexican League. Nobody wants Trevor Bauer. Now you guys are doing this with Greg Marshall. No. Greg Marshall is never coaching another basketball team again. He is a phenomenal coach. He coached at Winthrop and Wichita State. He was 525 and 204. He is an amazing head coach. He hasn't coached since COVID. He has not coached since the allegations came out. They are not getting Greg Marshall. Nobody is getting Greg Marshall. If you were embarrassed by the actions of Jerome Tang, you know how embarrassed you'll be by Greg Marshall? He's a tyrant. I don't know how you guys get these like 3 or 4 people in your mind. Stop it. Please erase Greg Marshall from your mind. The Royals have a better chance of getting Trevor Bauer than K-State does of getting Greg Marshall. There's a much better chance that Trevor Bauer comes back than Greg Marshall. You're not going to put him in charge of your basketball program. Absolutely not. Please keep him away from kids. Please keep him away from college students. He doesn't need to be anywhere around college students.
I mean, I don't understand why people would suggest that name. Like, I'm looking at the text line, there's a couple people. It's not everyone. It's not an overall.
I understand why he comes up.
I don't. He hadn't coached in 6 years.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
He got fired for being super racist.
Super, not even regular racist.
That was what the legal verbiage was from Wichita State.
He was super racist. Someone said, "What about Josh Pastner?" That's where I want you guys thinking. I want you thinking Josh Pastner is what I want you thinking. Not St. Louis's head coach, not Utah State's head coach. We've seen this before. We've seen this. They're not taking the Kansas State job. Josh Pastner. That's what I want you guys thinking. Penny Hardaway. That's what I want you guys. I want you thinking failed coach somewhere else that comes here to reband and fix that's good job, text line. See, that's why it ain't everybody. It's just a couple people on the text line. We got to correct them. We correct them. We move on. And it's all love. That's how we do it here on The Drive. Phone line 913-586-7965. Coming up at the top of the hour, let's get back to Tyreek Hill. Is Tyreek Hill coming back to Kansas City? Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Expect mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 72.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
Drew Brees here. Whether you're on the field or on the road, having the right team on your side makes all the difference. I learned that the hard way. On the field, you don't go anywhere without a solid O-line. And when your car breaks down, you want that same kind of protection. That's why I trust CarShield. Their protection plans help you tackle expensive repairs so that you're not blindsided.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees. And when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Beyond the Pitch KC, a new podcast hosted by Scott Parks and Rob Brenton, telling the stories behind the World Cup in Kansas City. Starts Wednesday, March 4th on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Rob, let's talk about something that I am noticing, and I'm interested to know if you have noticed the same thing. I said earlier that I think the Tyreek Hill decision comes down to 3 things. It comes down to medicals, money, and mood. It comes down to the 3 M's. Let's focus in on the mood part of it and less about the team's mood and you guys' mood. 913-586-7965. Now, if I'm off, please correct me, and I'm happy to say, oh, I was wrong on that. That's life. There seemed to be a sentiment around Kareem Hunt. There seemed to be a sentiment of he was a young guy who made a mistake. You remember the very sad video to watch as he got pulled over by the police and he was crying. Man, I should be playing for the Chiefs. I regret my decisions. He seemed to be someone who was really struggling with everything that had happened. He stayed out of trouble for a handful of years. He got the opportunity to come back to Kansas City. He absolutely made the most out of that opportunity and is certainly welcomed by Chiefs Kingdom. I'm all for Kareem Hunt coming back on the team next year. My issues with Kareem were always he can't be your number 1 option. But if you were going to have him just be your third down, short yardage, you're using him like a sledgehammer and he gets 75 carries next season, I got zero problem with Kareem Hunt coming back to the team next year. He has been a great member of the organization, great in the community, great in the locker room. I got zero problems with Kareem Hunt. He was able to get that opportunity. He earned that opportunity. He made the most out of it. I will say, Rob, and I understand for all the different reasons why, I don't think that Chiefs fans, Chiefs Kingdom, certainly not the text line, I don't think they really opened their arms up to Tyreek Hill. Now, let's remove the money part of it. Let's remove the medical part. Just how do you feel about this individual? I don't feel like it was very split with Kareem Hunt. I think a lot of people were cheering for Kareem Hunt when he came back, wanted his second chance, his chance at redemption, and they ended up being proven right. That is not the tone that I am getting from the text line. There is not a sentiment of, hey, let's bring him back and let's right all of the wrongs. I think part of that is he doesn't seem like he's matured in the way that Kareem Hunt matured. Kareem Hunt made some mistakes when he was younger, mistakes that you should never put your hands on a woman. But you were in your 20-somethings, you learned, you grown from it. If everybody's worst moment of their life was videotape, who knows what we would know about certain individuals? Not here making an excuse for them, but just a reality of a 25-year-old maybe struggling with alcohol, struggling with some other things, and just a bad day happened. I think that is a sentiment that a lot of people can identify with, especially if they feel like you were doing the work to atone for what you've done. I don't think people get that sense with Tyreek. I don't really think you should get that sense from Tyreek. He's always been in something. Think about every time he was about to sign in Kansas City. When he signed his rookie deal, you find out about the incident that happened in college. When he was about to sign another contract, you then had all of the off-the-field stuff with he and one of the mother of his children. In Miami, it has been incident after incident after incident. Like, he has never put down the childish ways. He has never appeared to you to grow up and mature. So we're not even talking about a second chance. Like, that's where we were with Kareem Hunt. He got a second chance. This would be Tyreek's second time in Kansas City, but this will be like chance number 9 if he is in Kansas City, where I do think there is a burn me once, burn me twice. We're not going to be in that position to allow you to do that again. I don't really get the tone from the text line that people are embracing Tyreek Hill and willing to open up their arms to let him in. If the Chiefs sign him, the Chiefs sign him, and you got to deal with that. And it's sports. If he plays well, you'll eventually move on from it. But I don't really get the tone right now that people want Tyreek back, or want him to have great success anymore. I feel like that time has passed.
I wonder how much of that, and I'm not trying to discount his off-the-field transgressions, but I wonder how much of that is the fact that he talked bad about Chiefs fans' favorite team and about Chiefs fans' favorite player and about the Chiefs in general on his way out the door. I know other players have done this, but I'll call it the Tony Gonzalez syndrome. Tony Gonzalez was an elite Chiefs player. And then he had one interview.
I feel bad, and I get what you're saying. I feel bad putting the Tony Gonzalez in the same context as Tyreek Hill. I don't really think what Tony Gonzalez said was incorrect. I just think the Chiefs fans were really sensitive at that part. And to Tony's discredit, Tony had chances to walk it back and then was like, hey, you guys knew what I meant. I didn't mean it in this way. And Chiefs fans just never really forgave him for the comments. I don't really think is that bad. To what you were saying about Tyreek, Tyreek was openly sniping at Kansas City for that first year and a half while he was in Miami, and has never really seemed to apologize or just say, hey, you know, I said some things that I didn't mean. I think if Tyreek came out and gave a true, genuine apology, I think some people, not everybody, some people would move on. I think people can identify with it was a harsh breakup, and you said some things on social media, you said some things via text that you probably shouldn't, and you regret saying those things. It's just that Tyreek has never really seemed to apologize for really any of the things that have happened.
There is I don't know Tyreek Hill, but there's a sense that there's an air of, hey, I did that, and I'm on to the next one. You should forget about that. And I think the reason I call it the Tony Gonzalez syndrome, and you're right, I think Tony is different, is that Tyreek Hill has been on Twitch. He's been on a million podcasts. He's been on social media. He's been everywhere. He could have a million different times, maybe not even a full apology, but just a mea culpa, a little my bad, a little tap your chest, that's on me. Hey, I was making a joke about Tua being more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. Hey, I got caught up in the trade and the money, and I got excited for where I was. I shouldn't have talked bad about Chiefs fans. Hey, I had gone from really good wide receiver to Miami celebrity overnight. I shouldn't have gone on Jake Paul's podcast and said those things about, you know, what it was like to play for. He has had ample opportunity to do those things, and he has never done any of those things for Kansas City. He just said on social media, I'd like to come home. That doesn't mean Chiefs fans want you, quote, home. I think that more so than his off-the-field things, as far as how Chiefs fans view it, his transgressions when it came to talking bad about the Chiefs have soured a lot of fans.
I would also say it is always convenient to throw that player away when you're not sure if that player can help you anymore.
Oh, if he was healthy, Chiefs fans would do a 180.
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
So part of this, and again, tell me if I'm wrong. Text line 913-586-7965. It's easy to feel that way about Tyreek, that you feel like his career is basically over. It's basically over at this point. Tyreek probably has, 2 years left in the National Football League? Maybe 3 left in the league. And there is absolutely no certainty for any team, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, whomever. There is no certainty if you sign Tyreek Hill that A, he can stay healthy, that B, he is the same player. There's absolutely no certainty in it. So it doesn't feel like Tyreek Hill is Devontae Adams, for example. Devontae Adams was still a very good player, just needed to be in the right situation. He signed with the right situation. He had a phenomenal season this past year with the Los Angeles Rams. I do feel like part of the we don't need Tyreek because of everything that he said is also wrapped into the context of Tyreek appears like he's over. He had a phenomenal run. But now, for the first time in his career, there is real uncertainty about the kind of player you are going to be. So it's certainly understandable that you'd be willing to look in a different direction now that he is potentially available.
I 1,000% agree. It is easy to stand on principle, and I don't want that guy when that guy might not be able to help you at all. If Tyreek Hill had got cut at this time last year, I mean, it'd be weird if he got cut this time last year, but that's not here nor there. I don't think the sentiment on the text line would be, well, he talked bad about Kansas City, whatever. I think the sentiment would be, oh, I'd love Tyreek Hill back because he's good. I think you're 1,000% correct. It is easy for fans to turn on him now, or at least be louder in the reason if they turn on a player when there's a thought he could never be that guy again. I also think Chiefs fans carry a little chip on their shoulder that he left and the team kept winning. And everyone knew that was going to keep happening. No one thought Tyreek Hill was going to go to Miami and they're going to be the powerhouse and the Chiefs are going to be the dregs of the league. But there is a little chip on the shoulder of, you left us and we got better. We don't need you again because we've been better without you. Because they have won more Super Bowls without him than they did with him.
Text line 913-586-7965. We already have one behavioral problem with Rashee Rice. We don't need another. That's what you guys told me Eric Bieniemy's job was. He doesn't call plays. He doesn't come up with scheme. He's the drill sergeant. I actually feel pretty confident if the Chiefs brought Tyreek Hill back into the locker room, if there is one person I think he has shown you that he will listen to, it's Eric Bieniemy. Tyreek was not a problem in Kansas City for the most part. He had really one incident. And I'm not saying it was a very serious incident. Don't get me wrong. It was a very serious incident. But I now don't want to make it seem like when Tyreek Hill was in Kansas City, it was every week we were dealing with another saga of him. No. Honestly, over the entire time that Tyreek was here, he was less problems than what Rice has been in the first 3 years of his career. He was healthy. He was available. He played. He absolutely came with baggage. The Chiefs knew he had that baggage. He then played really well. A large portion of the fan base got over the baggage. He then did it again. It is important to note while in the middle of that, he was never suspended by the National Football League for what involvement, whether you think he did it or didn't do it. The league investigated. They didn't suspend him. So I'm not painting like I'm pro Tyreek Hill here, but I don't want to paint it like his time in Kansas City. He just constantly stayed in the news and he was constantly in trouble. That is not what happened while he was here in Kansas City. He had one summer where he was in the middle of it. He didn't get suspended from that, and everybody just moved on.
It is weird because there was noise around Tyreek Hill at the draft, but that noise was based on his time at Oklahoma State. And then you're right. There was the one summer, I guess spring leading into summer, where it was very noisy. But he never, ever missed a game. Rashee Rice is very different. Rashee Rice has missed time because of this. Rashee Rice has to go to jail because of this. To my knowledge, he has not done his 30 days yet. Maybe he's doing them right now. Based on Instagram, I'd bet against it. But Tyreek Hill, I don't mean to diminish the problem, but it was noisy, but it was never the same level of problem that Rashee Rice has. Rashee Rice has missed game checks because of everything he's done. Tyreek Hill never did.
Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, are we really going to sit here and try to pretend like that dude doesn't have a character issue? I would say two things. Number one, and I hate like I'm coming off like the Tyreek Hill defender. I don't think you can have a successful football team if you are not willing to take character risk. I do not think you can field a good football team. I think it's impossible for you to field a good football team. I think it's impossible for you to do it. I would say as of right now, I don't know what Tyreek Hill has actively going on. His only problem right now seems to be he doesn't like wearing condoms. I don't know. Maybe he's got some other stuff going on. Like, honestly, maybe he has some other things that are currently going on. I don't know what he has going on. But I'm telling you right now, I don't know what other issues Tyreek Hill has going on. We can continue talking about this. I don't want Tyreek Hill here. If you were telling me that they're only going to sign one veteran wide receiver to a contract, I would not sign him to a deal. I would sign Mike Evans to a contract. But I do think now we got to tell there is a balance here with this Tyreek Hill conversation. And I do think in some ways it's gone a little bit to the extreme. We'll keep talking about this. Keep right here. It's The Drive.
Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
The excitement of the winter games is well underway. Want to know why betting the winter games on FanDuel just makes sense? From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about, FanDuel is giving you more ways to stay connected to the winter action. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than placing a bet over with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. The winter games will be over before you know it, so make sure that you're catching up with all the actions with our friends over at FanDuel. So whether it's on curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast, or speed skating decided by inches, hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off, and so much more, you can bet all of the winter games action with our friends over at FanDuel, packed with action and different events and contenders every single day to keep you going. Remember this, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The Colonel made his $10 Tuesday bucket so full, with 8 pieces of juicy, crispy chicken or tenders, that it might just last you till Wednesday, if you've got that kind of self-control. I mean, some people want leftovers. Others are more into right nowers. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. $10, 8 pieces, one big deal with KFC $10 Tuesdays.
Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Very heavy downtown, 670 eastbound just before 71. That's a 2-car crash blocking the right lane. Okay, the last 3 days of the winter sale happening now at Peter's Clothiers. Save up to 50% off all suits, sport coats, sportswear. Save big with sizes to fit every man. Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
We have to read this baseball story here coming up in just a bit. The text line is accusing me of being a Tyreek Hill defender. I don't think I'm a Tyreek Hill defender, but okay, that's fine, whatever. The only point I was making about Tyreek Hill is I think now, and I get it, Tyreek said a lot of things on his way out. You don't like Tyreek. I'm not here to defend the character of Tyreek Hill at all. But I now don't think we now need to misremember his time when he was here. Tyreek had the incident that happened when he was in college. He then came into the NFL with that accusation. That was his rookie year. So not something he did while he was in an NFL uniform, but something was in college. Every team in the NFL knew. That is clearly why he fell in the draft. The Chiefs took the chance. He then came into the NFL. He had one incident while he was in Kansas City that we know of. That summer, the tape recording, Channel 5, all of that. He had one incident while he was here. It is important to note that he was not suspended. The only thing I'm saying with Tyreek is we now don't have to make it seem like he was Vontaze Burfict. Every week we had some different drama with Tyreek Hill. That is not the case. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, your hatred for Rashee Rice blinds you. While in Kansas City, Tyreek was coming off being called a wife beater, another offseason with the beating accusation, another with the club thing. Rice has only had one incident, and that's it. That's not true with Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice had the incident after the Super Bowl, the car crash. You remember 2 weeks later, he was then accused of smacking a photographer. That story then went away. I actually think it happened, but I think they just paid the guy, and the guy just decided to not move forward with the charges. And then just a month ago, the mother of his 2 kids said that he assaults her. So he has had more than one incident since he has been in Kansas City. I also was here when Xavier Worthy got these same accusations a year ago, and then they just reached an agreement and we never heard from it again. I was also here when, remember Willie Gay and the whole incident about went over there and did this thing. So I'm not saying that Tyreek is a good guy, not saying I don't believe any of those things. I think Tyreek has shown you his character time and time again, and his character would scare me if I am a team. But I also don't want to play this game when it comes to NFL teams like they're all 353 choir boys. And no, that is not it. These teams take chances on these kinds of things all of the time when it comes to players. So I'm not saying that it is not important. At least for me, the off-the-field stuff for Tyreek Hill is very low on the list. And the question comes down to, is he healthy enough to play? Can he still play? And what is the money going to look like? Because that's what's going to matter to Buffalo. That's what's going to matter to New England. That's what's going to matter to the Chargers. I do think that Tyreek plays again. I think he plays again this year in the National Football League. I also don't think that Tyreek is just going to any team. I think he is going to a contending team. And I think Kansas City is one of those contending teams that are in the realistic conversation for Tyreek Hill.
Let me ask you this, and I don't mean to pivot away from the character conversation. Are you sure he's going to sign this offseason with someone? I do think he will sign at some point this year, yes. I think he will sign this year, but I think football will have started. I think he's going to be, it's not a trade deadline move, but it'll be viewed like a trade deadline move. Remember the Chiefs signed DJ Humphries, and everyone's like, oh, they found their left tackle. I think a team is going to sign Tyreek Hill in like week 6 because it's going to be, all right, now it's worth the risk. The money will be just right. We know our offensive setup. We can wait a little bit longer on his injury. I don't think he's signing on March 11th when free agency starts. I don't think he's signing on, April 1st. I think Tyreek Hill is going to be waiting a long time for that phone to ring because of the health risks. He's 32, and we've heard Dr. David Chow. I know doesn't care for him. He had a knee dislocation and possible other ligament damage. He said on his Twitch the other day, I got another surgery still on deck, which means you still have to recover from that surgery. I think Tyreek Hill signs with the team. I agree with you. But I don't think this is a March, April, hey, we're going to see a race to Tyreek Hill between Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City. I think this is, hey, who's deficient at wide receiver come October?
I think you can sign him now and just put him on the PUP list to begin the season, and just you already have him, and you don't have to deal with this conversation if you're another team. Like, if you feel confident enough in Tyreek Hill, we think he's going to have the surgery at some point, you sign him before the draft, you go into it with the expectation he's not going to participate in training camp, you go into it with the expectation that he's going to be placed on the IR, and you use him. I know it's a different scenario because of a suspension, kind of the same mindset the Chiefs fans have with Rashee Rice. He's going to miss the first 6 weeks of the game. We'll let him ramp up, and then he can help you the second half of the season. If you're Buffalo, this would be a perfect time for you to buy low on Tyreek Hill. Tyreek is not in a position to ask for $20 million right now. He's not in a position to ask for $25 million guaranteed. This is a chance for you to get Tyreek for $6 million, and if it doesn't work, so what? You say it doesn't work because of the injury, you get an injury settlement, you move on from him. Now's the time to take a chance and roll the dice on a team like Tyreek if you're a wide receiver deficient team, like Kansas City is.
I think a team is more likely to try to address that, in the draft and sign a Juju Smith-Schuster type in March, and then we'll evaluate where we're at. Maybe I'm a little late in the game. I think training camp, Tyreek Hill's phone will start ringing. Remember last year when Chiefs fans were all hot and bothered about Keenan Allen? I think Keenan Allen
sign up.
I think he's a Keenan Allen timeline. I remember that was the big name last year because remember he signed with the Chargers. Camp had already started. Preseason games were about to happen, and he signed with the Chargers. It was very low money. Let's see if he can be productive. I think he is a St. Joe signing if he's a Chief, more so than he's signing on St. Patrick's Day, for example.
Can we move on to talk about something else? Have you seen this Tony Clark story? I'm mad you didn't share this with me.
I literally just saw it come across.
I didn't see it until the commercial break. So you guys know Tony Clark. If you don't know who Tony Clark is, he is the leader of the Major League Baseball Players Association. He is their leader. The baseball players, it looks like they're heading towards a lockout. The owners want a salary cap. Teams want contract. They are headed towards a financial mess. Tony Clark has been in place for quite some time now. He helped them navigate through COVID. He helped them navigate through the last time their CBA was up. Baseball has had labor peace since 1994. I don't know if that's going to continue, but they've had it for quite some time. He resigned today from Jeff Passan, who has really turned into a star. Shout out to Jeff Passan. He tweeted this out. MLB Players Association Executive Director Tony Clark resigned after an internal investigation where it was revealed that he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law who had been hired by the union in 2023. Sources tell me ESPN. Are you confused, Rob?
I'm doing the math in my head here. It's definitely not mathing.
He resigned because he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law who was hired by the union in 2023. So I'm guessing you helped hooked her up with a job.
I'm starting to think I know why.
You out here sleeping with your brother's girl?
Big yikes.
What in the Jerry Springer is happening right now? Oh, they're definitely having a lockout. They're definitely having a lockout. You was out here being nasty with your brother's girl? Oh, my goodness. This is the ultimate violation. This is the man who was at the head of your table. This is your leadership. This is sick. They said that he was misappropriating funds. Now we're starting to figure out why he was misappropriating funds. Paying for those hotel rooms, being nasty. Nastiness is the downfall of so many people in power. Is it not? When you think about, Rob, 80% of the sports stories, why guys get in trouble, it's usually because they couldn't stop being nasty. You got an $8 million a year job. You're the head coach in Michigan. You're a married man. You got multiple kids. Well, look, we found out you was out here being nasty. Tony Clark, he was under federal investigation over complaints of alleged self-dealing and misuse of licensing money. He was taking the Bobby Witt Jr. uniform money to pay for his side piece, who was his brother's wife. You were taking the money from MLB The Show, and you were flying this Gross. Absolutely gross.
Texan makes a good point. It could be his wife's sister.
Could be, for sure.
Don't know that's better.
Same concept. It could be his wife's sister.
Honestly,
we don't know.
Equally
that
as
would
bad?
make it even worse.
Really? You think
That would make it even worse. It absolutely would be. That 100% makes it worse. If you're telling me that he got his wife's sister a job and is sleeping with his wife's sister, that's even worse than sleeping with your brother's girl. 100% worse. You're right. It could be his wife's sister. It could absolutely be his wife's sister, for sure. It's certainly possible. Yeah, Mr. Nasty Man. Text line, you're right. Horniness, it's never lost. It's undefeated. Horniness is Floyd Mayweather in 2011.
I mean, is it though? Because he's now unemployed.
Yeah, because he lost to horniness. He lost.
That's how horniness won.
He didn't beat horniness for sure. Horniness would have said, "No, I'm in a relationship. No, this is an inappropriate. No, I can't do this." That would be defeating horniness. He gave into it. That's why he lost.
I mean, this story's nuts.
All the time when we were kids, when they talked about just saying no, who should have known that the most powerful drug, that's what they should have been telling us to say no to. That's the drug that's undefeated. They were teaching us the wrong thing to say no to. Not enough of us, we didn't get that message growing up. They were telling us to stay no from crack. Crack has never bothered me. He was looking at the wrong crack, it sounds like. Just gross. Sick.
Especially, I mean, they're going to have to hire a new MLB PA head in a year where they're about to have a lockout.
Oh. Okay. Sick. Do you think it was, now that we're here, do you think it was his brother's girl or do you think it was his wife's sister? Which one do you think it is? We don't know yet. We're going to find out.
I mean, it'll come out.
I know. Which one do you think it is? We don't know right now. Do you think it was his brother's wife? Or do you think it was his sister's or his wife's sister? Which one do you think it is?
I think brother's wife.
Brother's wife just seems...
In all the reporting, it never mentions that he was married. Not that would come up in this story, but I feel like someone would have had that note.
I kind of feel like this person is married. I
feel like brother's wife is my
I'm just saying, maybe this is a stereotype. And it absolutely could be a stereotype. I just don't know if you can get to this level of politics. And trust me, this is a form of politics. You don't get to be the head of the baseball player union if you don't know how to play the game. I don't know if you get to that level of politics as a 53-year-old single man. You are absolutely married. You're married with a couple of kids, for sure. You got to have the image.
That's probably fair. But, I mean, I feel like somewhere in the reporting from Passon or someone picking the story up would have been like, they would have mentioned, like, infidelity on his part. It just says inappropriate relations with his sister-in-law. So that's why I think it's brother's wife.
Let me ask you this. I don't mean to bring, maybe this is too close to home. Who are you more mad at? Are you more mad at your brother, Rob, in this scenario, or your wife? Who are you more mad at? Like, tomorrow this happens to you. And that's what I say. Maybe it's too close to home. Nobody in your family would do this. I met them, all upstanding people. Are you more mad at your brother in this scenario or your wife?
I think the answer is just yes.
No, you got to pick one.
I think you
got to pick one.
I think it's just a fireball of anger in
100%.
Everyone. I don't think I sit down and take the time to be like, all right, let me rank how I feel in anger. I think it's just like a cartoon, steam coming out of your ears.
Yeah, 100%. Just sick. That's what you are. You're sick. Undefeated. It's absolutely undefeated. Can we find out? I feel like I need to text Passon and ask.
Can you imagine Passon getting a bunch of
I'm
texts
about to text Passon right now. Is this his wife's sister or his brother's wife? Which one is it? I'm going to text Passon and ask. Do you think we'll get an answer?
I mean, I trust Big J journalism, Jeff Passon.
Why do you say it like that? Big J journalism.
He's breaking a massive news story. He's going to get a text from us.
That is a massive news story, though. That's a massive
huge
news story.
And then he's going to get a text from us, be like, hey, real quick, how did the relationship familiar work? Was it his brother's wife or his wife's sister?
I don't even know how to move forward in the show. I don't know. How can we talk about something serious with this question out there? I desperately now want to know, which one is it? We have to find this out. I'll try to get back I'll try to compose myself. Let's talk about K-State. This is with cause. K-State fan, when we talk about firing somebody with cause, this is how we all see it. This is why you fire somebody. You had an inappropriate relationship with your sister-in-law. This is why you fire somebody with cause. Not, oh, they were mean to the players and they were bad at basketball. No, that's not enough. Are you being Mr. Nasty Man? That's with cause in 2026.
That athletic director is embarrassing for what he is trying to do. What did he actually say right there? He said, we're going to hold our players to a standard. The way they played was unacceptable. They didn't compete. They didn't play hard. We're going to practice at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning because we're going to fix this problem. Yeah, did Jerome Tang make some mistakes in terms of maybe the players that he brought into the program because they're not winning enough? Sure. But let me tell you something. If Jerome Tang, say, wanted to take the UCLA job, he has a buyout. He'd have to pay it. You know what? K-State, you made a bad decision in your mind. All right, they're not winning enough games. Just say, he's not winning enough games. We need to make a change. But to try to dispute and try to create some type of narrative that he didn't fulfill his contract, that is absolutely embarrassing to K-State, the athletic department, the administration. All he was saying is our fans, our students, the university, our community deserves better, and we're going to hold our team to a standard. What did he do wrong? The only thing he did wrong in the last 2 years, he didn't win enough games. Jerome Tang is a really good coach, a really good person, a genuine guy. He's real and genuine, and that is an embarrassment to the university. You give a guy a contract, honor the contract. You can fire a guy because he hasn't won enough games, but you don't have a right to try to embarrass him.
All right, I'm texting Jeff Passan right now. I'm trying to get the information. I hope he doesn't. So I asked Jeff Passan, I just sent the text, is this his brother's wife or his wife's sister? So I'm trying to get the answer so we can get to the bottom of this because we all want to know. We all want to know which one it is. I'll wait till he texts me back so we can get a clear answer to this question. But this is a very, very important question that we need answered here on this show. We try to break news on this show too. Now, I know this show doesn't always practice Big J journalism. We basically need some stadium news for us to do that. Whenever the Royals tell us where they're going to play, then we'll get back to Big J journalism. But we ain't got nothing going on. There ain't no Royals games. There's no Chiefs games. KU's getting a 30 ball at Hilton Coliseum. Missouri is on the bubble. The Royals have basically made no moves for the last 90 days. We're stuck. So now our Big J journalism is trying to figure out this story. That's how we're getting there. Rob, I don't have a problem with what K-State's trying to do for this reason. I don't have a problem with this. This is the analogy I'll make. Let's say, Rob, that I owe you $200. And let's say that you want your $200. You gave me the $200. Let's say that I come to you and say, all right, I will pay you your $200 in 20 $10 installments. Or I can just give you $140 right now. We can just call it good. Are you more inclined to just take the $140 and just say it is what it is? Or are you gonna wait it out? I don't know how Jerome Tang's contract is structured. I have absolutely no clue. $18.7 million is a significant amount of money. And it is obvious that K-State is trying to get out of a significant amount of money. Now, I understand a contract is a contract. Pay what you owe. Them guaranteed to give you $18.7 million when you did such a terrible job. To me, I understand why they would want a little bit of a refund. So I'm guessing, this is just a pure guess on my part, I'm guessing that they probably went to him and said, we're ready to reach a settlement right now. We'll cash you out right now. I think part of what happened, why he was able to coach the Houston game is, I think firing somebody takes a lot more work than we think it takes. It's not just like you, the AD, you just make one phone call, you fire him, and that's it. You're an employee. There's protocols that you have to go through. I think K-State was trying to get all their ducks in a row and get everybody on the same page after that press conference. I also think they started passing the collection plate around. And they got $1 million here, $1 million here. And I think they went to Jerome Tang with all the money that they have right now. I'm not saying they can't get more of it, but they went to him with, hey, we got $11 million. We know we owe you 18. We will give you $11 million today in a settlement. I think Jerome Tang told him, no, you fired me. I want my $18.7 million in the form that we agreed to. So I want my half now and on my other half in 30 days. I don't think K-State has the money, so now their best chance is this. And you hope that you tie him up in enough litigation that eventually he says, all right, man, give me the 12. All right, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to go to court anymore. I don't want to hand over my phone. You're going through I don't want to do this anymore. Just give me the $12 million and we're cool. That's what I think K-State's trying to do.
Here's why I think it's goofy what K-State's trying to do. And I don't think you're wrong. But here's why I think it's goofy. If Jerome Tang's lawyer, who has put out very strong statements, goes to court with this or starts operating in a situation where they have discovery in this case, it is 100% designed to embarrass Kansas State University. Jesse Newell, who now works at The Athletic covering the Chiefs, he used to cover KU. He pointed this out, and it's 100% accurate. It's the perfect analogy. KU fired David Beatty with cause. Now, they said the cause was beyond just losing football games. David Beatty fought that, and it got messy. And a lot of things came out about KU Athletics, and I'm betting the people at KU Athletics did not want out in the public because David Beatty and his lawyer said, look, they do this, they do that. We have discovery, and we're going to use this opportunity to humiliate Kansas. That's what Jerome Tang has an opportunity to do if this goes to trial. I think the problem is that Casey doesn't have $18 million of cash on hand, so they're having to fight this with cause, try to get the number down. But if it actually goes to a court, it is only going to be set to humiliate Gene Taylor, boosters, donors, everyone.
Because I'm no legal expert, but if you were going to fire a college football or college basketball coach with cause, you need a lot more than that press conference. That press conference is not that bad. In a large system, all he says is he's mad and they're embarrassing. And then he says they won't be here next year. That's all he says. It's 2026. I could have told you they weren't going to be on the team next year. But I understand. This is what happens in a breakup. It was already trending in that direction. She did one thing you don't like, and now you're done with her forever. You've been done for a while. You just wanted the reason to storm out. And that's what happened. K-State was looking for a reason to get rid of Jerome Tang. He gave them the perfect opportunity when he embarrassed them. They were talking about Kansas State basketball on PTI. They were talking about Kansas State basketball on First Take. In a year in which you won one conference game, they should never be talking about Kansas State basketball on there. You did something wrong if that's the case. So the fact that he embarrassed them and put them in the news cycle, they are now trying to use that as a reason for firing him with cause, and I'm not sure if it's going to hold up. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about NBA All-Star Weekend. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
The excitement of the Winter Games is well underway. Want to know why betting the Winter Games on FanDuel makes sense? From game lines to medal counts to finding your angles and the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The Winter Games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Curling matches that start slow and get tense fast. Bobsled runs that go by in a flash. Speed skating decided by inches. Hockey games that feel different from the opening faceoff, and so much more. Me personally, I have a wager placed on the United States to win gold in hockey. The Winter Games are packed with action, with different events and contenders every single day. You'll want to keep up with all the action over on FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When the cold weather takes over KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we're always happy to help. Right now, we're offering 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems. Trusted by generations of KC homeowners, AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Call 913-732-9993 or visit abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Furnished by IntelliBrands. Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Get an Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact. Improve your flexibility and balance. Strengthen and tone your legs.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better, and it makes me feel stronger too.
My circulation is moving. I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
It's so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. And for a limited time, get a free upgrade to our deluxe bundle with a faster motor, sport mat, and wireless remote. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. We've got a crash 71 southbound just before 53rd off to the right shoulder. A lot of onlooker delay. Downtown still working 670 eastbound. This is just before 71. It is the right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, I got to tell you where we are. Jeff Passan had the story that the head of the MLB Players Association, he has resigned after an internal investigation where it was revealed that he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law. We are trying to find out who the sister-in-law is. Not her name, but we are trying to find out if that is his brother's sister, or his brother's wife, or his wife's sister. That's what we're trying to figure out, because those are two completely different dynamics. We're trying to figure out. We tried to get to the bottom of very serious questions here. That's where we are. That's one thing. Now, Rob, I hope we can talk about this for just a smidgens. Not a long time, just a smidgens. Coming up at the top of the hour, Mike Evans says that he is going to play next season. We just don't know if that's going to be in Tampa Bay. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit. But Rob, I know the text line. I already know. I already closed it because I don't want to read it. All-Star Weekend was not that bad this year. The three-point contest was very exciting. Shout out to Damian Lillard. The Shooting Stars Challenge was fun. The All-Star festivities on Sunday, the game was good. It was competitive. It was high energy. It was quick. It was up and down the court. I didn't have any problem with Sunday. The problem is the dunk contest. Now, I am in the business of sometimes you just got to listen. And I think the current NBA player has told us what they care about and what they don't care about. And one of the things that the 25 and under NBA player has told us, they don't have any interest in doing the dunk contest. They'll do the three-point contest. You get all of the stars to agree to do the three-point contest. They show up for the game, and I thought they played hard enough. They do the Olympics when they don't have to in the summer. NBA players tell you what they care about and what they don't care about. They don't want to do the dunk contest anymore. So let's stop it. If there's a group of guys that want to sign up and do the dunk contest, then let's do it. But at this point, the dunk contest can no longer be a yearly event. It absolutely cannot be a yearly event. This is what my suggestion would be for All-Star Weekend. Let's listen. Because I don't want to keep watching Jackson Hayes and Jace Richardson and Kashad Johnson. I'm watching guys I don't know do in-game dunks. Jackson Hayes should be suspended for 1 game for conduct detrimental to the league for what I saw him do on Saturday. He took off from the restricted area and did a one-handed dunk, just a one-hand regular dunk. He should be suspended for 1 game for conduct detrimental to the league. I want to call the players' bluff. Rob, we've seen enough players come out and say that they would do a one-on-one tournament. Then let's get one of the many sponsors that the NBA has. Let's put the money up, and let's say we're going to do a one-on-one tournament on the Saturday before All-Star Weekend, before the game, and the winner gets $2 million. And I want to see who signs up. If you put a significant amount of money up, you will get some guys to do it. Sure, it might not be the top 8 guys that we all want to do it, but for $2 million, you would get some guys that would sign up to do a one-on-one contest. And maybe you break it up. Maybe you do $1 million for a 6'8" and under league, and then you do one for a little bit taller. Like, do we really want a game in which Victor Wembanyama's playing Kyrie Irving in a game of one-on-one? Like, I don't know if that's what we want. But I'd love to see Wemby go up against Giannis in a 1v1 game with a little bit of cash on the line. Giannis says he'll do it. Jaylen Brown says he'll do it. Kyrie says he'll do it. Let's call their bluff. Hey, we got McDonald's to put up $2 million. We got Amazon to put up $2 million. They're going to stream the event, and Amazon's going to pay for it. And we want to have the top NBA players do a 1v1 tournament. Let's keep the three-point contest. If you want to do something, little shooting stars, incorporate the veterans, incorporate the WNBA players, sure, great. Have at it. But that would be my suggestion for All-Star Weekend. Let's quit talking about it. Let's start being about it. Let's get the money together to do a King of the Hill 1v1 tournament for All-Star Weekend.
I mean, if they don't do that, I think All-Star Weekend is cooked. I know you said it wasn't as bad as people think.
It wasn't that bad this week. I watched everything All-Star Weekend related. It was not that bad.
Me and you have played the same amount of minutes as Damian Lillard this year. He doesn't play. He's not an active player in the NBA. He won the three-point contest. That's goofy. It's the same as Mac McClung. You just know the name.
We're not doing that with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's still an NBA player. He's just out for the season with an injury.
Then why is he in the three-point contest? That's goofy. That's silly. It's nonsensical.
I don't have a problem with Dame doing it. I'm with you on Mac McClung. He's a G League player. They shouldn't be eligible. Damian Lillard is still in the NBA. And to just go up there and just shoot some shots, I don't have any problem with Dame being in the contest.
And made his injury worse. I'm just saying, you're telling me the three-point shooting contest champion is a guy who didn't play this year. He's going to be DNP. When you go to his basketball reference page, it's going to show didn't play due to injury. But he won the three-point contest. That's goofy. The format for the All-Star game, goofy. We had 3 teams. It's goofy.
I can't believe you of all people now have this harsh take on DMP when that's your favorite college player right now.
Yeah, he didn't get to compete in the All-Star game if there was
one.
Might.
He might.
I'm just saying, if they don't do a King of the Hill one-on-one or do something, they are in bad shape with All-Star Weekend.
I don't have any problem. So for the three-point contest, now let's see what happens. Steph has agreed to do it next year. Damian Lillard has agreed to do it next year.
Everyone talks that way 12 months in advance.
It is going to be, but these guys do the three-point contest. We've never looked at three-point contest and been like, who are these guys? They get guys do the three-point contest every year. It's in Phoenix, so the feeling is Devin Booker will do it next year, and they're going to try to get Clay to do it one more year. I'm cool with them doing like an old school, new school kind of thing when it comes to All-Star Weekend and have the old guys and the young guys go against each other in the three-point contest. But I don't have any problem with Dame doing it. Dame's one of the greatest players we've ever seen. He's won it 2 separate times. If Dame wants to do the three-point contest, this is the thing. I want guys to want to do these things. You can't get anybody to sign up for the dunk contest. I'm certainly not going to be mad when guys want to do these events. Hey, Dame, you want to do it? Come on. We want to see if you can still do it.
I actually would love a one-on-one contest. King of the Hill, I would love it. Sign me all the way up. Anthony Edwards was talking like he could beat Kyrie. Sign me up. I also think if this All-Star game didn't have the lead-in of the Olympics, I think the numbers would have been bad, real bad. I don't think the general public is interested in this anymore. So you better find a way to jazz it up, or you're going to lose the general public for good. The same way, I'm not the world's biggest hockey fan, but when you talk to hockey fans like Speck, our boss, the NHL All-Star Weekend used to be cool. Now it sucks. Like, it's lost a lot of its luster. You got to find a way to bring a little zip, a little edge back. A one-on-one would do that, but if you're just going to keep rolling out the same things and have non-all-stars in the three-point contest and guys doing regular breakaway dunks like it's, a January
This is
NBA
where I
game.
feel like it's a little bit of hate towards the NBA. It did better than the Major League Baseball All-Star Game,
which also needs revamping.
But I think the NBA All-Star Game's fine, or the Major League Baseball All-Star Game's fine. I just at this point, the purpose of the All-Star Game, like back in the day, was you just don't get a chance to see these guys. You get a chance to see these guys just all the time anymore. So I just think the ideal, the pageantry of an All-Star Game has just lost a little bit of its allure. As long as they're willing to show up and give effort, I'm cool with them having All-Star Games. They try in the baseball All-Star Game. They tried during the NBA All-Star Game. Hey, it's a fun 2 hours. Let's come out there and let's have a little bit of fun. Let's try to compete. I want them to completely get rid of the dunk contest. Everything else they have this weekend, I was fine with as a consumer. I thought the three-point contest was fun. I thought they tried in the game. I thought they competed in the game. That's all I think you can really ask for at this point.
I just think now I'm a little bit of a certified hater here. I don't think we need all-star games in 2026, just conceptually, because exactly what you said. Hey, now it used to be you never got a chance to see these guys. I follow the Royals. I don't ever get to see it. Mark McGwire play baseball. Nowadays, I get to see Shohei anytime I want. I have the internet. If I'm a basketball fan, I'm not just watching Larry Bird. I can watch Magic Johnson whenever I want. So I think the idea is antiquated. So I'm cool with refreshing, rehabbing, and revitalizing it. But right now, it feels like we're doing a 1970s thing in 2026 just cuz.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to reset things with the National Football League. Mike Evans says that he is going to play in 2026, but he's not sure if that is going to be in Tampa Bay. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. We've got a crash 71 southbound just before 53rd off to the right shoulder. A lot of onlooker delay. Downtown still working 670 eastbound. This is just before 71. It is the right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. No secret here. I am a golf guy, and I have to ask you if you're ready to ramp up the excitement because golf fans, BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bet even better with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Well, you ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with this bet, MGM's Second Chance promotion will get you your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only, Missouri only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please play responsibly.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
If you love seafood, pull up anchor and set sail for Hy-Vee's annual fish and seafood sale. Get a whale of a deal on all your favorites for Lent. Salmon, tuna, trout, and catfish. Seafood lovers shrimp, crab legs, and lobster mac and cheese. Eating seafood twice a week has major health benefits. Count on Hy-Vee to sell only the freshest seafood backed by the Responsible Choice Guarantee. All hands on deck for the annual seafood sale going on now at Hy-Vee.
One thing I love doing is going to Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and finding everything I need. But sometimes we're just very busy. With 2 girls in high school right now, we are swamped. So we use Hy-Vee's aisles online. I go to the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. I choose the store I want, I select my items, and then Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. All I have to do is pick it up or, better yet, have it delivered to my home. So I'm going to save time and I'm going to save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions. It's February romance once again. Buy one toilet, get one half off. Call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible. Plus, the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself, Rob Bretton, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hold on tight. Things are spinning into action. At Harris, Kansas City on Saturday, February 28th, it's the $50,000 Spincredible event. Take your turn at the giant prize wheel and spin your way up to $5,000 in free play. And the excitement keeps turning because at 10 p.m., one lucky winner will walk away with $50,000 in cash. Keep those entries rolling with 5 times entries on Sundays, February 15th, 22nd, and Friday, February 27th. Spin big, win big. Only at Harris's Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Heading out of town this winter? Snow, ice, and cold temps are stressful enough. Airport parking shouldn't be. Park and Go makes it easy with online reservations, fast free shuttles, and all spots are covered to keep your car protected from winter weather. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
If you're looking for more NFL draft coverage, go subscribe and follow the Character Concerns podcast with Bink and Chris on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, Rob. Maybe my messaging on this has been incorrect, and I need to change the message a bit. I know that I have been banging the drum for the Chiefs to get younger and cheaper. Now, I have not completely moved off of that, but every offseason, there are players, there are examples of guys that you think can come in and help your team that if you're a smart organization, you should really look into. The examples I've been making are Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp joined the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, and I thought was a very valuable piece to what they were doing. Devontae Adams was one of those players this year. We can use the example of Randy Moss. Randy Moss joined the Patriots when he was 30 years old. This was not a young spring chicken. This is a guy who had played 8 years in the league before that, and then he joined the New England Patriots, and we know obviously had a phenomenal career up until after that point. The reason I bring all this up is I'm really intrigued by Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans on a one-year deal makes a whole lot of sense for the Kansas City Chiefs. One other part of this conversation, and maybe this is where my messaging has just been off, is yes, the Chiefs need to get younger. They need to get cheaper. They need to get more explosive. That's where I think Breece Hall comes in. That's where I think Kenneth Walker potentially comes in, and we'll talk more about that as now we could see one of those guys not get the franchise tag. But I also think the Chiefs just need a different style of receiver. One of the problems that I think the Chiefs have in the red zone is they don't really have a high point catch guy. They don't really have somebody that creates separation. That, yes, you can scheme and try to do crossing patterns, but sometimes you just need a guy who is more athletic than everybody else down there. That's who Kelsey used to be. That's not who he is right now. That I think Mike Evans can still be that kind of receiver, especially at his size, where you throw it up. We talk a lot about trust with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how you wouldn't have trust for Mike Evans. Some of you think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't, but we don't have to go round and round on that. But he is a very productive receiver in his NFL career. If you got a chance to get that guy and you can sign him to a one-year deal, or it ends up being a 2-year deal, which ultimately lands as a 1-year contract, I'm for it. Of all of the veteran wide receiver options that are out there, Mike Evans to me is the clear one that they need to make. They are going to sign a veteran wide receiver. They are not going into the season with, right now they have Rashee Rice, they have Xavier Worthy, they have Jalen Royals and Jason Brownlee. They are not having all rookie wide receiver contracts. They're going to sign one veteran. They're going to sign a Juju. They're going to sign a Hollywood. They're going to make player acquisitions. Man, I want one of their big moves is to go get Mike Evans. So the story is Mike Evans is going to return. He has 2 agents, Derek Gilmore and Darren Jones. They tell Kimberly Martin of ESPN that the future Hall of Famer is going to play this upcoming season and will, quote, explore his free agency options. I want one of those options to be Kansas City, and I think they should make a very, very serious push to go get him. Now, I know last year he was a little bit injured and banged up, and maybe you think that is now the future for Mike Evans. But, man, he has been one of the most consistent and one of the most healthy and durable players in the National Football League now for 12 seasons. I'm willing to roll the dice one time with Mike Evans that last year was an anomaly, and that is not what to expect in 2026. I would take a chance on Mike Evans. Rob, you have been a little bit on the other side of this thing. Now hearing that Mike Evans is going to play this season, hearing that Mike Evans is open to exploring different free agency options, is he somebody you would want in Kansas City?
I like the idea of Mike Evans, but here's my concern with Mike Evans. And actually it has nothing to do with the player. I like the player. We have a lot of discussion. Considering he's never played in Kansas City, we have a lot of discussions about Mike Evans on this show. Outside of DeAndre Hopkins, who didn't really work in Kansas City, have they ever had a player with that skill set in Kansas City? It seems like they never seek that out. Now, I think they're wrong to never seek that out, but you know how we joke like, so-and-so has a type. Brett Veach has a type. And that back shoulder fade, go get it in the end zone, win a jump ball type of receiver has never been what Brett Veach has sought out. So I like Mike Evans, the player. I wonder if Brett Veach likes Mike Evans, the player, because that's the type of player that he's actively ignored during his time in Kansas City. The low separation, win a jump ball guy is just not what they target.
I asked that question because just a year ago, Mike Evans said this.
In the back of my mind, I'm thinking Houston, Kansas City. I love Pat Mahomes' game. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking those two teams, obviously, and I'm obviously thinking Bucs. So it would have been extremely hard if I hit free agency to leave here. Right. But this is where my family knows my kids were born here. Yeah. My wife's been here a long time. She doesn't want to pack up and move everything. Right. So it was really her decision is the reason why I decided to stay. And she loves this place, and I obviously love this place. But when she gave me the go-ahead, like, we should stay here, no-brainer.
So Bucs fans should be thinking Ashley Evans is what you're
absolutely.
getting
Always
to.
the wife. I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying that I would have chose somewhere else, but I was going to hit free agency. And then we were at dinner. She said, babe, I think we should stay in Tampa. Because she wasn't outspoken about it or nothing. She was letting me do the decision. And she said, I think we should stay in Tampa. And she never brought it up at all. So when she said that, I was like, oh, yeah.
Maybe it's time. I don't know Mike Evans. Like, for example, Travis Kelce, I think, has made it very clear, I'm only going to play in Kansas City. So even if the Chiefs were said, no, we're moving on, I just think Travis Kelce is retiring. I don't think that Kelce next year is – Kelce, to me, is not exploring free agency options. He's exploring if he wants to come back in Kansas City. This report would lead you to believe that Mike Evans is open to the possibility of leaving. And this is why I asked this question. Text line 913-587-965. C-Dot, he's old as dirt. After being banged up, what would you pay him a year? This is where I think sometimes when we have these conversations about free agency, I think that, A, fans want free agents to just be unicorns. Like, you're going to get this 27-year-old who has no injury history, who wants to come in and win a championship and sign a team-friendly deal. Not really what free agency is, and the Chiefs only have 6 picks. They only have 6 picks. The Chiefs don't have a lot of chances, in my opinion, to really take a step forward with their roster. So you got to take a couple of chances this year. You're going to have to take a chance at pass rush. You're not going to be able to go get Breece Hall and get the wide receiver that you want and do all of these things. That's just not the way the free agency works. So I think if you're going to try to find that veteran wide receiver option, which to me they desperately need, so you're going to have to find somebody in that 1-year price range. I think that Mike Evans is the best possible guy that you could potentially sign for that. Like, we can go through the 1-year options, but if we don't think they're going to get Alec Pierce, which I don't think they're going to get him, they're not going to get Wan'Dale Robinson, they're not making a trade for Brandon Ayuk. If they're not getting that, like, what is your suggestion for the, on his second or third contract, productive wide receiver that can come in and be a boom or bust option? And you got to offer me somebody that you think fits that role better than Mike Evans. I'd be open to signing Mike Evans on a 1-year, $12 million deal. I know $12 million sounds like a lot. In NFL wide receiver circles, that is not a lot of money. That's in line with the kind of player that he is. A boom or bust, it could work, it could not work. The $12 million against your salary cap, if you finagle it the right way, it is not hurting your ability to go out and make moves in free agency.
Let me ask you this, as I just continue to play devil's advocate this segment. If you're giving $12 million for that type of player, does that mean you're also giving $12 million to Travis Kelce? Because that would mean you have.
I wouldn't, but they are.
But they are. Like, I agree. Let me rephrase. They are giving $12 million, maybe less, maybe more, ballparking $12 million to Travis Kelce. Knowing that is going to happen, does that affect your interest in Mike Evans? Because it's not like Mike Evans and Travis Kelce are spring chickens, and they have a lot of similarities in their game. Like, I know one's a tight end, one's a receiver, but at 30-plus years old, neither one of them are super separation guy anymore. Knowing that we both think Travis Kelce is back in the fold in 26, does that affect your interest in a player like Mike Evans?
It doesn't really affect my option, but I would ask you this, and I'm not even trying to put you on the spot. Who is your veteran option? Because we can go through the veteran options if you want. I think you are going to find that it is a mix of the same. So I'm going through. So I'm going to read to you a handful of guys right now that their spot track market value is less than $10 million. Because the guys more than $10 million, if you want to have a couple of these guys, we can have that conversation. If you're interested in Romeo Doubs, who is 25 years old, but I think you and I both know somebody's giving Romeo Doubs a 3 or a 4 year contract. He's 25 years old. You ain't getting Romeo Doubs on a 2-year, $30 million contract. Somebody is going to pay for Romeo Doubs to join their offense. You then got Mike Evans, who's on the high end, but you're also getting him for a shorter amount of time. You're getting him on a 1-year deal. You got Shaheed, who's 27 years old, who just showed a contending team, I can help you. You are not getting Shaheed for cheap. He just showed you his value this postseason. He's one of the best kick returners in the league, one of the best special teams players. He can have 700 yards receiving. I think that Shaheed signs like a Darnell Mooney kind of contract and gets like 3 for 36. I don't think that money's coming from Kansas City. You then got Deebo Samuel, Wan'Dale Robinson, Alec Pierce, etc. So that's the high end of wide receiver. Let me read to you some of the options who Spot Track has for less than $10 million. Because let's say you're somebody texting in right now and you think Mike Evans is too expensive. You're allowed to have that opinion. Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, Christian Kirk, Calvin Austin, Jalen Naylor, Jalen Tolbert, Treylon Burks, Khalif Raymond, Kendrick Bourne, Sterling Shepard, Tim Patrick, Brandon Cooks. It's that type.
God, I love Tim Patrick so much.
I get you. But I'm saying is, if you are they have to get a veteran wide receiver. Like, that's not even a debatable point to me at this point. They are not going into it with let's say they even draft a wide receiver at 9. They are not going into a season, in my opinion, where all of their wide receivers are on rookie contracts. They're not going into that scenario. They're going to sign some veteran wide receiver. Do you like anybody in that cheap option? Because you can go get Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's going to be 34 years old when the season starts and has a clear injury history. You can go get Hollywood again on a 1-year, $5 million deal, but you kind of get what you pay for. So if you want to see the offense take a step forward, you either got to be willing to spend a significant resource in the draft to go do it, or you got to be willing to put some coins together in free agency to go get that kind of player. So I'm trying to look at where I think there's potential value. There's value at running back this year. We could talk about running back. Kenneth Walker might be available. Breece Hall might be available. Travis Etienne might be available. So you can spend a little bit of money in free agency and take a significant step up at running back. They also need to go get one receiver. You going to get Treylon Burks on a 1-year, $5 million deal, Pat can save him, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in going to get Calvin Austin on a same kind of contract. Spend a little bit of money and roll the dice and take a chance on a guy like Mike Evans with a proven track record who can come in and show guys how to be a pro, who has been in every single football scenario that you can possibly be in, and sign him on a fake 2-year deal that's really a 1-year deal that allows you some flexibility in year 2 on whether or not he wants to come back, or you can move on from him at the end of the year if things don't work.
I feel like, now, this is where me and you're going to handle the offseason differently, and that's fine. I would probably end up paying Christian Kirk. Like, that's the name in that cheap market that I would be interested in. He's a guy who played for Doug Peterson. We know the similarities between Doug Peterson and Andy Reid's system. I'm not looking to bring him in as wide receiver 1. I would probably draft one in the 2nd or 3rd round, really bolster the weaponry through both means. But I also am trying to save my coins, for your analogy, to get edge rusher. Edge rusher is my target 1 premium, have to get it done multiple ways this offseason thing. It's not running back. It's not wide receiver. In Sharpie on the whiteboard, if I was Brett Veach, would be edge rusher. There isn't enough of them right now in Kansas City, and they're going to have to cut Mike Dana anyway. So I'm not willing to dole out the coins for Mike Evans, the player, not because I don't think he's good, not because I don't think he can help. It's because I don't think that I can afford him and Travis Kelce and an edge rusher. So I have to pinch my pennies somewhere. I'm going to pinch it at Mike Evans, wide receiver, because of how much I value a need of edge rusher. That's how I would handle it. I would get Christian Kirk. I would draft a 2nd-round wide receiver. I would sign Kenneth Gainwell in a 3rd-round running back. I would bring back Travis Kelce, and I would then use 9 and use a premium free agent move to get edge rusher.
You and I are on the same page when it comes to edge rusher. Rob, there's only one edge rusher you like. Just think about this. There's a lot of teams that need pass rush.
I like Bradley Chubb a lot. Bradley Chubb is going to get cut. He's about to get cut. I'm
shocked you like Bradley Chubb. You low key, you like the talent the Broncos have had over the last couple of years. You love Tim Patrick, you love Cortland Sutton, you love Bradley Chubb. I don't know, you just secretly like them. I don't have a problem with Bradley Chubb. I'm shocked you want somebody who has been as injured as Bradley Chubb has been. I'm shocked that that's a guy you're willing to pay for, because Bradley Chubb has absolutely had some injury issues over the last couple of seasons.
If I'm going to have to find a veteran to fill a gap, I'd rather have a veteran with a nil name cachet, a little tread on the tires, but high-level production at edge rusher than wide receiver. Like, I think Bradley Chubb, I don't think he's as good as Mike Evans, but he is the edge rusher what Mike Evans is the wide receiver.
Okay.
They're kind of the same. If I have to pick veteran, put my coins together, I'm doing it for Bradley Chubb.
I don't mind that. But it sounds to me, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, you understand they're going to have to take a chance on some veteran.
Correct.
You're just not willing for them to take a chance on an offensive player. You want them to take a chance on a defensive player.
Correct.
They probably only have room to take a chance on one guy.
I agree.
Where I would say Kenneth Gainwell's not taking a chance. Travis Etienne is not taking a chance. That's a guy's 2nd contract. You're hoping. Taking a chance, that Bradley Chubb is a chance. He will be 30 years old, and he has had a very spotty, he has had 3 seasons in which he has played in 8 or fewer games. That's the way I wanted to say it. 3 seasons that is the case. He also tore his ACL a year and a half ago. So you are absolutely taking a chance on Bradley Chubb. Someone is going to do it. Someone's going to pay Bradley Chubb $12 million for them next year. You sound like you want that team to be the Chiefs.
I do. I will take the risk. I will roll the dice, for the analogies, at edge rusher when I pair it with a draft pick at 9.
Oh, the text line saying you did like Jerry Jeudy too. You've liked
Jerry
a
Jeudy
lot
would
of
be the
Broncos.
best receiver. Jerry Jeudy would be the
You've
best
liked
receiver than the
a
Chiefs.
lot of Broncos over the last couple of years. The text line is right. If I'm Charger Dot, you're Bronco Brenton.
If the Chiefs
You've been
traded-
selling the talent on this Broncos team for 3 years.
Do you mean the AFC West champions did for Broncos?
Which is then odd because you don't like their quarterback.
I do hate their quarterback.
It doesn't make any sense.
He's
How
been
do you like
holding back.
all the other talent on the team but hate their quarterback?
Their
It's
quarterback's
so
no
odd.
good. Their quarterback can apply for AARP. I hate him. He's the worst.
It's so odd. Are you surprised that Seattle's not putting the franchise tag on Kenneth Walker?
No, it's a running back. You don't tag running back. It's not a thing you do in the NFL.
I think he's going back.
I agree. I think that too.
I think he's going back.
I actually think he and Breece Hall are both going back.
Oh, wow.
I think he's going to set the market, and the Jets are going to meet the market for Breece Hall. I don't know if that's a off-season hot take, but I think the names everyone got all hot and bothered by for running back in January and February, or I guess December and January, are both going to be on their team again next season.
So if you had to guess, then who do you think the Chiefs' number 1 running back is?
It's either Travis Etienne or...
Which I think perfectly fits what they want to do.
I actually think that's the top answer on the board if it's Family Feud for me.
Yeah, I think it's Breece Hall, but I'm not mad at Travis Etienne. If they sign Travis Etienne day 1 of free agency, I will be happy. Yeah. And I vow to you, I will stop complaining about running back. They addressed it. If they go out and get Travis Etienne on day 1, there ain't really much else for us to talk about anymore. They got a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. They got a guy who's 27 years old in the prime of his career and is a consistent 1,000-yard rusher. Finally, that's what I've been asking them to do for 2 years. So, yes, I'd be very happy if they listen and that's what they do.
Or I think they're going to operate in an area you don't want them to operate in, which is I call it the Kenneth Gainwell tier.
I don't mind Kenneth Gainwell.
There are other players in the sphere, but it's that tier of player.
This is where I think you and I are on different sides. If they go get Kenneth Gainwell, that's fine. That can't be all they do at the position.
I actually agree with you. I wouldn't use a first-round pick in that world.
Yeah, I'm not getting Jeremiah Love and Kenneth Gainwell. But if they get Kenneth Gainwell and they spent the 40th overall pick on a running back, great. I'm not upset at that if that's their plan for 2026. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I wanted them to swing a little bit higher than that. But if you're telling me right now that's the plan, they get Kenneth Gainwell or the running back from the Falcons, plus they spend I'm not talking about a 6th-round pick that you guys were trying to sell me. No, I'm not doing that. I want them to spend a significant resource and go get a guy that we've heard of at running back, not a guy who used to play wide receiver, who 1 year played running back at a mid-major school and then was good. No, I don't want that. Please get that guy away from me. I don't want them. Go find DeAndre Swift, and then maybe I'll let you take a chance on a Kyle Manung guy. But you got to get DeAndre Swift first. So they don't have that guy currently on the team.
I'm going to say, if I was in charge, and I'm not, but if I was, someone that Tyler Algier, Kenneth Gainwell, someone like that, and then I would probably draft Emmett Johnson from Nebraska. Or the other Notre Dame kid, Price. I forget his first name. I would use my 3rd-round pick on Emmett Johnson, and I would also have Kenneth Gainwell. And by the way, I know that Brashard Smith didn't really exist in 2025. He's still on the roster. I don't think that's the world's worst running back room. I think there's a way to improve the running back room, multiple-prong approach, without it being Jeremiah Love or Breece Hall or both. I think me and you are more in lockstep on running back than you think. I just want to do it the RC Cola version, not the, I don't know what the Chiefs have been doing. Diet Right. I don't know what they've been doing recently at running back. But I don't think it has to be
haven't been doing anything.
Coca-Cola.
The answer is nothing, is what they've been doing. They've been doing nothing at running back for the last 2 years. That's the answer. Nothing.
I would argue they've done less than nothing.
Someone said ETN is a short-term solution, maybe 2 years at best. Okay. That's not a bad thing to me when it comes to some of these guys. Like, that's why the argument we have about Isaiah Pacheco, if they had treated Isaiah Pacheco correctly, we wouldn't be in this situation. It was obvious that the Isaiah Pacheco thing, it had expired. It was clear when it had expired. It was over. They then decided to run it back 1 more year with Isaiah Pacheco and pray that he was going to bounce back. They were terribly wrong in that assessment. So if you're telling me right now that they signed ETN to a 2-year deal, he's a really good player, and we start the process over at running back, good. Got to make a lot of them. There's no shortage of running backs in the National Football League, certainly not capable ones. So I am not looking for the Chiefs to find their forever running back this year. I guess, if you spent the 9th overall pick, I would certainly hope that's the case. But almost any other asset that they spend other than the 9th overall pick, I am not expecting that person to be their forever running back. So, yeah, if Travis Etienne at age 29, 30 starts to break down and you got to start the process over again, but he runs for 1,200 yards, 900 yards, and 1,100 yards, great. Phenomenal. Great find by you, Brett Veach. You know what will happen in 3 years when they need another one? There will be another one available. That's how that position works. So that is not a negative for me at all in going to get him.
I also think, and maybe I'm just, these words ring in my head more than they should. Trez used to always say running backs only have so many hits in their bodies.
For sure.
So I'm not signing one to a 4-year deal because eventually, over the course of that 4-year deal, when it's their second contract, the hits in their bodies eventually expire. Think about how the Steelers feel about Le'Veon Bell's contract. Probably not great. I mean, excuse me, not the Steelers, the Jets. The Jets were the one that got straddled with that nightmare. I wonder how Rams fans feel today about the contract they doled out for Todd Gurley. Probably not super great about it. Like, I think the Patriots gave Sony Michel big money. Like, when you give long contracts to running backs as a second deal, it usually doesn't work out. So if it's Travis Etienne on a 3-year deal that you funny money up and really is only 2, cool. I'm all for it. Sign me up.
Coming up on the other side, we'll get back to one of the top stories today. Chris Jones sent Tyreek Hill a tweet that said, "It's time." Is there a possibility that there is a reunion between the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill? We'll get to it next. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
Tonight, expect a mix of light rain and partly cloudy skies with a low of 47.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The excitement of the Winter Games is well underway. You want to know why betting the Winter Games on FanDuel makes sense? Because you got the game lines. You're keeping an eye on USA hockey and Canada hockey. You're looking at the medal counts and who has the most gold medals, who will end up with the most gold, who will have the total medal count lead at the end of this thing. You want to find your angle on the events you care about most. And maybe that's bobsled. We had a guest on just last week talking about bobsledding. FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The Winter Games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast. Bobsled runs that go by in a flash. Speed skating decided by inches. And hockey games that feel a little different from the opening face-off, and so much more. The Winter Games are packed with action, different events, different contenders each and every day. You'll want to keep up with all the action on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi there, I'm Charlie. And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC. If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help. Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting. Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team. He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City, If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days. He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises. Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision. Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
This hour is brought to you by State Water Heater and Reeves Weideman, online at rwco.com. Need a water heater? State Water Heaters has the solution. The Adapt Gas Tankless Water Heater with X3 scale prevention delivers efficient, on-demand hot water with no annual maintenance and may qualify for money-saving utility rebates. Ask your plumber for State at Reeves Weideman. Visit rwco.com or statewaterheaters.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Still working a couple of crashes. Olathe, 35 northbound, the on-ramp from 151st. You're slow in both directions there. And let's see, Lee Summit, 470 eastbound. As you approach 50, you're going to want to scoot to the left through here. It is the right lane blocked. I'm Bow with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Rob, let's do this exercise. I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit here. I have said the Tyreek Hill topic comes down to the 3 M's. It comes down to the medicals. It comes down to the money. It comes down to the mood of the locker room and of the front office. You need all 3 of those things to be in line. I want us to go through and maybe rank what's most important to you with Tyreek Hill, and maybe we do a pie chart of percentage-wise. Because how would you rank it? Because this is how I would do it. Medicals are obviously number 1. If he's not fully healthy, and the way that he describes himself, he doesn't describe himself as fully healthy. So we might just be having this conversation for nothing. It's a slow period. We need something to talk about. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill because of the Chris Jones tweet. But if you just listen to his own words, he doesn't make you feel good about the medicals.
My recovery's going good, bro. Like I said earlier in the stream, I got to have one more surgery. You know what I'm saying? I have more updates on that on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys follow me, have been following me throughout this journey, man, it hasn't been as rough as people try to make it seem, you know what I'm saying? But I will say with me, filling my time with, DJing and, traveling to all these different places, I will say that it has made it a lot easier for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying my life. I'm enjoying myself, man. So, but yeah, I have more updates whenever I'm about to have surgery.
There's a lot of things I think you can say about Tyreek Hill, both good and bad. 2 things I will never question when it comes to Tyreek. He is an elite football player. He has shown us that time and time again. And I don't think you ever need to question his effort on the field or the kind of work that I think he is willing to put in. That's never been the concern. Now, what he does in his free time, we got a whole bunch of questions about that. But once he shows up to the facility, that has very rarely been the issue, I think, with Tyreek Hill. But the medicals, they would have to concern you. I'll play one cut to you guys from Tom Pelissero. Like, they're talking about nerve damage with him. They're talking about they're not sure when he's going to be able to start the season. We might not even need to be having this conversation. It might just be Tyreek Hill can't play football anymore.
The Dolphins already getting down to business. They got things started early this morning by making several cuts, including their 8-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Tyreek Hill. This was an inevitable move that takes his $36 million in cash off the books in 2026 at a time that Tyreek is recovering from that serious leg injury, and it's unclear when or even if he'll be ready to play in 2026. If he does, it will not be in Miami. Tyreek now officially is a free agent.
So, Rob, I would say number one are the medicals for me. I'm putting that at 70%. That's a significant part of this conversation. Tyreek Hill's personal life, that's his whole separate issue. The money, we can figure that out because I don't think you're breaking the bank for a guy at his age with the substantial leg injury that he is coming off of. If the medicals check out, and this is just not a Chiefs thing, this would be a Bills thing, this would be a Patriots thing, the medicals and what they mean and if and when he can potentially come back are so important to me with Tyreek. That's number one for me. I'm putting it at 70%. I'm putting the money at 10%. I don't think Tyreek is going to cost nearly as much as people think he's going to cost. So that's last for me. I don't think you're breaking the bank for Tyreek Hill. I don't think anybody is. Given the injury that he had, given some of the off-the-field concerns, there is reason that there is going to be a depressed market and value for that player. That's small for me. And I also think the mood of the locker room. Now, I could be wrong. I don't think Chris Jones tweets that out if there's beef between Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he tweets that out if there's beef between Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Like, I imagine these guys have private conversations and talk. You know who likes who and who doesn't like who in your workplace, especially if you work with them as long as Patrick worked with Tyreek and as long as Tyreek Hill did. So I'm not as concerned about that, if anything, and it's football. If they can help you win, teams are always willing to take chances. So I've got it ranked, Rob. I got the medicals, the most important thing for me. I've got that at 70%. I'm going to put the mood of the locker room, the mood of the front office. I'm putting that at 20%. And the money to me for Tyreek is a very, very small thing because I just don't think it's going to cost that much. I don't know if at this point in his career, given his medical concerns, I don't know if he costs that much more than Hollywood Brown. So are you telling me today, would I sign Tyreek if I'm Buffalo, if I'm New England, if I'm a team that needs a veteran wide receiver, if I'm Denver, would I sign Tyreek to a 1-year, $8 million deal, $12 million in incentives, have him kind of stashed away? We continue to help him with his recovery, and he maybe is a guy that we add after the first 6 weeks as a pup player. I'd be very interested in that if the medicals check out for Tyreek.
Okay, so if I were to rank it, I would say I agree with you. Medicals are 1. I have medicals as 80%. We don't need to go through all the reasons. It's everything you said. And some of the text line points out Tank Dell had a very similar injury. Tank Dell hasn't come back. Tank Dell was younger and hasn't come back.
That's fair.
So medicals are an enormous part of this for me. I have that at 80%. I have money at 15% because I think money and medicals are super tied in. If he's aware of his potential physical limitations and rehab necessary and all those things, I agree with you. His price will be depressed. But if he's looking for actual NFL money, I'm talking above the Hollywood Brown contract, then it's a hard pass, not about him, but from the Chiefs. You can't be putting resources into a player that's TBD medical-wise. And the last 5% to me is mood. Now, maybe I'm overreacting to tweets. Maybe I'm overreacting to videos we've seen when they were in Frankfurt and Tyreek Hill gave a big hug to Andy Reid. And we've heard Patrick Mahomes say that he and Tyreek still talk. Like, maybe I'm overreacting. And the fact that they brought Kareem Hunt back, which that would have never happened, maybe I'm overreacting to those things. But it feels like the mood is, hey, if you can help us in the football field, we don't really care about the other stuff all that much when it comes to how you talked about us and those things. Water under the bridge. But I think medicals and money take up 95% with 80% chunk being medical.
Maybe this is me being unfair to Eric Bieniemy, and I can live with this. Our top text, C-Dot, the Chiefs can't have Tyreek's personal life and Rashee Rice's personal life on the team, on the field at the same time. What do we think Eric Bieniemy's role then is? Because just a couple of weeks ago, and this is why I'm saying maybe I'm being unfair, I was told that Eric Bieniemy's job was to deal specifically with these problems, that it's not his offense. He does not concern himself with the offense, and his job is to get guys in line and to get guys on the same page. If you're telling me that's what his job is, then I'm willing to roll the dice on a guy that we think could potentially help, and hoping that his discipline, your leadership, your mentorship can keep him in line. I mean, you did it the first time. That's why I said earlier, I don't want to paint it like Tyreek was just a constant pain in the neck when he was here in Kansas City. That was not the case. I was here when Arrowhead was screaming his name and chanting his name. I was here on the 4th down play against the Baltimore Ravens. It was not all bad for Tyreek when he was here. It was one very uncomfortable summer in which I would say Chiefs fans rallied around Tyreek Hill and treat him like he was Nelson Mandela, and that the media had it out for the black man and that he was everything wrong with the justice system. I was here that summer. So I don't want to now paint it like it was all terrible when Tyreek was here. And I would say that EB did a really good job communicating with Tyreek and keeping that guy in line. Why couldn't he potentially do it again if you think he can play and if you think he can help? If you think that there's another good season of Tyreek Hill left in his NFL career, if you think there is another year left in his body, what's the problem? What's the harm if that's with the Chiefs? Because what a fear I would have is I think Tyreek is going to sign with some contending team. I don't know who it is, but I don't think that Tyreek is coming back to play for Carolina. And if you're Carolina, I don't think you want Tyreek around. I don't think Tyreek is rolling the dice again to play on a team that has no chance of winning. When that happened in Miami, attitude went sour, body language went sour, relationship went sour. You got to put yourself in winning situations. So I think Tyreek is going to sign with the contending team. Look at the Vegas odds. It's Kansas City, then it's Buffalo, then it's Denver, then it's New England. It's those teams that Vegas thinks he's signing with. I think he is signing with a team that is a direct contender to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if that guy still has another 850-yard season for 6 touchdowns in his body and he's making no money to do it, man, I at least want to turn over every rock to see if whether or not that can be in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform.
I agree that a contender is going to sign, but I think the money will be important here because this is why I have money at 15%. If you get into a bidding war about Tyreek Hill in 2026 with, let's just use the Bills as the example, if it goes a penny above what you're willing to pay, eject. Because you cannot be overpaying Tyreek Hill in 2026. You can't be. So I am someone that, considering the medical fears, I'm willing to bow out of a potential bidding war with Tyreek Hill early in the process and let him be a Bill, let him be a Raven, let him be a whomever, because I don't think you can afford, with your cap situation, your lack of picks, and all the things you have this offseason, to be overpaying for Tyreek Hill in a year where you really don't know what you're going to get from him at any point in the season. It's just hard to know at this point in time.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the top stories of the day in sports. It looks like Major League Baseball could be headed towards a lockout. Their former chief, the former head of the Players Association, is Mr. Nasty Man. There's a lot of stuff going on. We'll also continue to talk about the other top story we missed yesterday. Jerome Tang is no longer the head coach at Kansas State, and they are trying to fire him with cause. We'll get back to that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
The excitement of the Winter Games is well underway. Want to know why betting the Winter Games on FanDuel just makes sense? From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about, FanDuel is giving you more ways to stay connected to the winter action. The Winter Games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than placing a bet over with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. The Winter Games will be over before you know it, so make sure that you're catching up with all the actions with our friends over at FanDuel. So whether it's on curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast, or speed skating decided by inches, hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off, and so much more, you can bet all of the Winter Games action with our friends over at FanDuel, packed with action and different events and contenders every single day to keep you going. Remember this. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Bob Burke. founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-535-1582. 800-535-1582. Again, that's 800-535-1582.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This has been brought to you by Peters Clothiers Lease Summit. We've got the crash still working, 470 eastbound as you approach 50. It is the right lane blocked. You've also got 70 westbound just before Blue Ridge cutoff. Right lane is blocked. Big backups in the area. The last 3 days of the winter sale happening now at Peters Clothiers. Save up to 50% off all suits, sport coats, and sportswear. Save big with sizes to fit every man. Peters Clothiers, 124th and State Line. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Have you ever had a friend, or maybe you were that friend, that just gets a little overly defensive? Like when the pressure is now on them, everybody's just kind of joking around, everybody just having a little bit of fun, but now the pressure has turned to them. and they respond in a very hostile and aggressive way, and you're like, that's just a little off. I kind of think that's what K-State fans are doing right now. Now, no one has any problem with you firing Jerome Tang. In fact, Jerome Tang deserved to be fired. I am not here saying, oh, man, you guys should have given him more time. I think you guys gave him too much time. Should have fired him 3 weeks ago. It was obvious this wasn't going to work. But I think the issue that a lot of people have is you trying to throw the fired with cause. And at least based on what we know, I can't go by, oh, well, this thing happened and we'll find out in discovery. I can only go with the information that we have. And the information that we have is this 43-second clip is why you are choosing to fire a guy with cause and trying to use that as a reason to take money away from him that you guys agreed to pay.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer, no words. So y'all got two questions. So whoever want to ask two questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed.
Nobody is mad that you want to fire your coach. But I've been seeing K-State fans, now they're running down the list. No, we're not firing him. We're firing him because of this thing and this thing. I mean, you kept him employed through all of those things. It's okay to say that enough is enough. You got a 30-piece at the crib by Cincinnati, and for a time there, Kansas State basketball was a national story because of those comments. They were discussed on PTI. If ever PTI is talking about K-State basketball in the middle of February, something is either going really, really good, like they're Nebraska this year in basketball, or something is going really, really bad, like it currently is in Manhattan, Kansas. Stephen A. Smith was talking about these comments. They've never talked about Kansas State basketball on First Take. Not when Skip was there, not when it was Cold Pizza, back with Jay Crawford back in the day and Woody Page. They've never discussed Kansas basketball, K-State. They're talking about K-State basketball. I get it. You were a little embarrassed. But to say with cause is what happened at Michigan. If you're a head coach and you're sleeping with a staffer and then you drive over there and threaten to kill yourself with a butter knife, yes, that's with cause. They absolutely have reasons to void your buyout because of the way that you were handling yourself. Being mad at your team and calling them embarrassing and saying that they don't deserve to wear the jersey is not enough of a smoking gun to me. Pay that man his money. You owe him. You owe that man his money. You owe him his $18 million. Now, let's see what happens, because Kansas tried to do this with David Beatty. You remember a few years ago, Kansas tried to fire David Beatty with cause, and David Beatty fought it for his money, and David Beatty ended up winning that case against the University of Kansas. Now, if you are reading the statement between the lawyer of Jerome Tang, I mean, this is the kind of person I want defending me. So Jerome Tang ended up retaining a man named Tom Mars. He's very well known, a sports law person. Tom Mars told ESPN, and I quote, "If K-State's president and athletic director really think that the school was embarrassed by a recent event, that's nothing compared to the embarrassment that both of them are about to experience." Some of you needed this during your divorce. Some of you needed this during your child custody case. That's the kind of lawyer I need right there. We are about to embarrass them. Pay me my money. Jerome, I'm with you. I get why you would pay 10% to these people to go get your money. I don't know what the settlement offer is, but I'm guessing it's significantly less than $18 million. They didn't offer you $15 million, and now you're willing to fight for this extra amount of money. I think they're trying to lowball you. That's a negotiation. They pulled up and they offered you 11. And they owe you $18 million, and you are not leaving $7 million on the table because they're mad that it didn't work out for them. No, give me my money. I'm about to go get Tom Mars here. We're about to go to fight, you guys, and we got enough precedent that we're about to win this case, and you're going to pay me the 18 in full, and you're going to pay for his retainer, and you're going to pay my legal fees. I'm interested to see how this ends. I'm guessing Jerome Tang takes a settlement. I'm guessing he takes, but if I'm Jerome and you owe me 18, Rob, what number are you willing to walk away from if you're Jerome Tang? They owe you $18 million. How much in a settlement are you willing to take? I'm not taking less than 15. You guys owe me $18 million. We don't have any reason to believe that Jerome Tang was operating inappropriately. If that was the case, now's the time to tell us. If you got some text or something, some emails or some pictures, now's the time to do it to get your money back, because those pictures could be worth millions of dollars now at this point. Those texts are worth millions of dollars. That press conference is not worth millions of dollars. You owe me $18 million. I want my money.
I wonder this, and I don't know. I'm not in these booster meetings or donor meetings at K-State. Do you think K-State fired him with cause, knowing that a legal battle was coming, but they're just trying to kick the can down the road to get to the $18 million? Because if K-State had $18.7 million just on hand, why would they take this path? It just feels like this path is only going to end with K-State being embarrassed. Either A, it's exactly what you said about what David Beatty happened with Kansas, and you're going to end up embarrassed in discovery, or B, you're going to end up paying near 18. I would say 15 plus would make me go away. You're paying 85% of what $18 million
I'm not taking less than 15 if I'm Jerome Tang.
100%.
And even then, think about that. Like, we're saying, oh, I take 15. That's even $3 million on the table. Like, we're not talking about the difference in $150,000 and $180 or $180 and $150. We're talking about 15 or 8. They owe you $3 million that you are willing to walk away from in money that they owe you. But I'm telling you this. You're not paying me my 15 in installments. No, I want my 15 today. So I don't know where you guys got it. You need to go down there in that little NIL war chest that you guys have and go run me my money. Briefcase, hundreds. I'm acting like that one dude from Rush Hour. I want them in hundreds, 50s, 20s. That's how I want you owe me $15 million. And no, I don't want this settlement. Oh, you'll give me some today and then some in 90 days and then some in a year. No. I'm doing you guys a favor. I'm saving you $3 million. So you need to pay that money right now is how I would handle this if I'm Jerome Tang. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the top story. Could baseball be headed for a lockout? Could Kenneth Walker be changing teams? Could Tyreek Hill be headed towards Kansas City? So many questions. Keep it right here. So drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
This one brought to you by Peters Clothiers Lease Summit. We've got the crash still working 470 eastbound as you approach 50. It is the right lane blocked. You've also got 70 westbound just before Blue Ridge cutoff. Right lane is blocked. Big backups in the area. The last 3 days of the winter sale happening now at Peters Clothiers. Save up to 50% off all suits, sport coats, and sportswear. Save big with sizes to fit every man. Peters Clothiers, 124th and State Line. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the OP Convention Center. Grab front door perks while they last. Get golf fit with Paws Studio and P-Volve. Savor buys with Pierpont's at Union Station and Booth Creek Wagyu. And hit Golf MD's new Club Zone at the Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the OP Convention Center. Thanks to Mulligan's Country Club, Great Life Golf, Genesis of KC, Extreme Green, All Seasons Indoor Golf, Surfside, Imperial Golf, and Barry's Golf and Groove. Tickets at KansasCityGolfShow.com.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, in Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Football season is over, but there's still plenty to bet at Circa Sports. From pro and college basketball, hockey, and everything in between, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for futures on March hoops, props on your favorite players, and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
There's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hey, Royals fans, it's Vern, and the Hot Stove Show is back Thursday night starting at 6 o'clock right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. Let's wrap up a K-State conversation. As you guys know by now, they fired their head coach. I'll play 2 cuts for you guys, and then we'll talk about the Chiefs. I do want to spend maybe 3 to 5 minutes on K-State. So the first thing is, this is Kellis Robinette. He was on the show earlier today. Shout out to Kellis Robinette, long time on the beat for K-State athletics. I asked him earlier, who are some of the potential coaches that he think could take over for Jerome Tang at K-State? These were the names that he threw out there.
I think they'll go pretty much like they did with Chris Kleiman. I think they'll focus to bring in an older coach, somebody who's got a lot of experience, maybe not at the highest levels, but somebody who's won everywhere he's been. I would kind of say bringing somebody with a high floor, not necessarily a high ceiling, just somebody who's going to come in and bring back respectability to the program. I think some options would be Josh Schertz at St. Louis. He's won at Division II. He's won at Indiana State. He's winning right now at St. Louis. Jared Calhoun at Utah State. He's got a long history of winning at both Youngstown State and Utah State. Eric Olin at New Mexico, same deal. He turned San Diego from D2 into a D1 power. Now he's winning at New Mexico. Those are 3 names that I think would be really good choices for him. I think an established coach who's one of the mid-major level, ready to make the jump up, that's probably the most likely way they go here.
I'd be a little bit surprised if that's the kind of coach that K-State gets. And I think it's a little bit unrealistic to think that that's the kind of coach that they are going to get. St. Louis's head coach might be the number one available coach on the market. That guy does not take the K-State job. So the people over at On3 Sports, so On3 used to be Rivals. You've heard of Rivals before. So, Rob, they anonymously polled a bunch of media people, veteran coaches, and they had it ranked on the best job and worst job in every single conference. In the Big 12, these are the jobs that they have ahead of Kansas State. Kansas was unanimous, the best job in the Big 12. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Arizona, number 2. Texas Tech, number 3. BYU, Houston, Iowa State, Baylor, Cincinnati. They have K-State as the 9th best job in the Big 12 out of 16 teams. If the perception is that you are a mid-tier job in the Big 12, which is a very good, very competitive conference, but Kansas State doesn't have a rich basketball history. They don't have a solid set recruiting ground. You're also in the same state as Kansas, where let's say that there is a top player in Kansas City or a top player in Wichita. That kid is going to Kansas. That kid is very rarely going to Kansas State. I don't know if you get the top mid-major coach when they're available. I mean, St. Louis is 24-1. There's going to be a better job that opens up, and that's the job that I want. Hey, I'm at St. Louis. I now take the step up, and I get the Oklahoma job, which Oklahoma is a better job than the Kansas State job. If you're at Utah State, they're 22-3. I think you also get a better job than K-State. I know K-State fans might not want to hear this, but you hire somebody like Bruce Weber. You hire somebody who has clear D1 experience, has had success in the past, but has cooled off a little bit, and you are hoping now at Kansas State that guy can get hot again. Or you hire another guy like Jerome Tang, a top assistant, and you're willing to roll the dice and give him a chance and see if it works, and it either works spectacularly and you found something, or it fails. Now, in hindsight, I think we know exactly why Jerome Tang was available. I think we now know, if you go back and you look at Jerome Tang's career, why, despite people said this about Baylor for 15 years. Baylor can recruit, but they can't coach. Well, one of the reasons they could recruit was because Jerome Tang was around. And he was getting Tweety Carter. He was getting those guys. He was getting the Isaiah kid, the tall Isaiah Austin. He was getting the tall kids. And he took some of that ability to Kansas State. But there is a reason why you had the recruiting ability that Jerome Tang clearly has, and you didn't get a chance to be a head coach until you were 55 years old. No one hired you. No one was willing to give you a chance until K-State popped around. So I'm not saying I think the K-State job is bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine. I don't think the K-State really has a lot of inherent advantages. And I think that's what makes the job a little bit more difficult than I think K-State fans are willing to acknowledge. You don't have a true recruiting ground, and you are the clear number 2 in your own state. I don't think it's a destination job by any means, a great job by any means. I think you get a Bruce Weber type, a guy that had success elsewhere. That guy failed elsewhere. He wants another crack at it. He's back. Josh Pastner is a good example. Josh Pastner is a good basketball coach. He's not a great basketball coach. He is a good basketball coach. I think that's the kind of guy you get. I don't know if you get the hottest coach on the market.
Let me ask you this, though. And I don't totally disagree. I like the K-State fans are striving for more with their program. Like, that's what you want from fans. I don't want fans to be like, just Bruce Weber part 2, let's roll it out there. Would a retread like Porter Moser fit into that category? Because you mentioned the Oklahoma job. It got my mind moving. I think Oklahoma's firing Porter Moser. I think that's going to happen. They stink this year. He was the hero of Loyola Chicago. He's getting fired. If K-State hired him, just for the name, would that count in this category of raise the floor but doesn't affect the ceiling? Or do you want to go more established Tom Crean type, not suggesting him as an actual name, but a more Tom Crean type of name versus Porter Moser?
Yeah, so on the text line says, C-Dot, you have no clue what you're talking about if you don't think Kansas State can realistically get any of those coaches. I don't know what to tell you. I would do the say it out loud test. I think the St. Louis coach is going to be the top coach available. Do you think there is ever a coaching cycle in which Kansas State gets the number 1 coach available? Is there ever a coaching cycle in which you think that happens? In football, basketball, any sport, do you think that if once all the dust settles and every job is open, and if you have your pick of the litter, do you think that a top mid-major coach picks K-State? I think the answer is just no. That's not an indictment on your job. There's just better jobs out there. It's a fine job. It's fine. That's what it is. It's fine. It's a fine job. But, Rob, do you disagree? Is K-State better than any of these jobs? Kansas, Arizona, Texas Tech, BYU, Houston, Iowa State, Baylor, or Cincinnati?
Maybe Cincinnati.
Maybe.
But it's – I'm not going to fight too hard. Like, they should be 7.
So then you either think it's the 8th or the 9th best job in the Big 12. So if it's the 8th or the 9th best job in the Big 12, that makes it the what best job in the country? 40th?
It's probably among Power 4s, middle to bottom tier.
Yeah, then you don't get the hot it guy then once your job's open. You just don't get that guy. That's just not realistic in my opinion. All right, Rob, let's get to the hits.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home. And now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Kansas Always Hits brought to you by Baker University. Make your next era orange at Baker University, ranked number 1 in return on investment on private universities in the state. Baker University, forever in our orange era.
All right, I want to play this audio for you guys because I think this is an important piece of audio to play as we begin this conversation. So we've been talking about the 3 M's when it comes to Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek Hill is now officially a free agent. You don't got to trade for him. He is officially a free agent. But it is important to note, he comes with a significant injury risk. Here is Dr. David Chow.
I'd love to see Tyreek Hill continue to play. His injury is significant, though. His early season injury was a knee dislocation. This was by video. An immediate worry for nerve damage, peroneal nerve palsy. He appeared to have the nerve palsy when he was seen walking after his initial surgery. He's said to need another surgery per his own post, and he's been cut by the Dolphins, likely with a failed physical designation, although that hasn't been specified yet. He won't be able to sign with another team until he can pass another physical. And so it remains to be seen when that might happen. He's 31, I believe, and any significant knee injury, much less a knee dislocation, is in the career-threatening category for the type of player that he is. I certainly hope it's not career-ending. I want to see him back. Where he lands will be a different story, and it seems more likely that would be closer to later this season or next season than right now. Wishing Tyreek Hill the best in his recovery from his knee dislocation and potential nerve injury.
Here's the question that I think is pretty interesting about Tyreek Hill. And Rob, this is something that we have not discussed today. I will concede to this point. I think there are far more ways to talk yourself out of Tyreek Hill than to talk yourself into Tyreek Hill. I don't think talking yourself into Mike Evans is really that hard to do. I mean, really, it's just the age and injury concern, which, I mean, he's a 30-something-year-old player. I mean, that's just, it's football. Like, they're going to come with injury concerns. There aren't a lot of really healthy 34-year-old football players around. There's a couple, but there's just not a lot of them. You're always worried about an injury concern. But he's been really healthy. You have no issue with off the field kind of stuff when it comes to Mike Evans. Like, Mike Evans, I would say, is a pretty low-risk free agency signing. I would say that Tyreek is a really high-risk potential free agency signing. The medicals are a major concern. The money, maybe not as much. We're all just throwing out random numbers of what we think he's worth. But the money, like we have seen before, he is willing to burn down a fantastic situation for the love of money. He is willing to burn down a potential dynasty and burn a bridge with the potential dynasty to try to get every single dollar out of playing in the National Football League. I'm not mad at him, but that's what's happened. And also the mood. How does that guy fit in the locker room? What's his relationship like with his teammates? What's his relationship like with the front office? And we haven't really even gotten to the incredible off-the-field concerns that come with Tyreek Hill. Like, if we had to make a list, which sounds really, really bad, But if we had to make a list of some of the most troubled players in the National Football League, Tyreek Hill's on the top 10 list. He's absolutely on the top 10. Like, if I said right now, give me players that have significant red flags, Tyreek Hill is near the top of that list. There are far more reasons that you can talk yourself out of Tyreek Hill than talk yourself into it. But it's the National Football League. We can play this, oh, it's moral, we want high character. We all watch football. They are willing to roll the dice on these kind of players all the time. So a team is certainly going to roll the dice on Tyreek Hill. I don't know if it's going to be Kansas City or it's not going to be Kansas City. But a contending team, a team that we think is a good organization, a team that we think is a smart organization, is absolutely going to take a chance on Tyreek Hill. We're just trying to figure out, Rob, who that could potentially be.
I actually don't see it the same way you do. I will say the official transaction report for the NFL has come out, and Tyreek Hill did get cut with a failed injury designation, which means that he can't sign anywhere until he can pass a physical, which, according to his Twitch, he's having another surgery soon, so it might be a little bit of time before he can actually pass a physical. So I don't know if it's not breaking news sounder worthy, but he was cut with failed physical diagnosis. I agree with you. A contender is going to sign Tyreek Hill. I don't think there's going to be a rush to get him done at all. I think he's going to sign the same timeline that Keenan Allen signed last year. It is going to be hey, we get to camp. We're looking at our wide receiver core. We're looking at the players we drafted. We're looking at the UDFAs we made, and we get an assessment of where our team is. And this, by the way, is how I feel about every team, not just the Chiefs. We're going to get an assessment of where we are, and if we feel like we're behind the 8 ball, and we talk to Drew Rosenhaus, and hey, Tyreek will pass a physical, he's good to go, then we will kick the tires and consider Tyreek Hill. But I think the Tyreek Hill thing, I think the medicals are story A, B, and C with him. He said on Twitch, I have another surgery upcoming. I don't know contenders are rushing to get that guy signed in March, April, May, June, or even July. I think this is a Keenan Allen August type of move by someone.
I looked this up. Keenan Allen signed a deal last year on August 5th.
Okay.
So that was when Keenan Allen signed
August,
the contract.
but you get my point,
I was just curious of when he ended up signing that deal, which makes sense. A little bit into training camp. He signed a deal 2 weeks into training camp. You just mentioned it. I'll play it for people who may have missed it. Tyreek Hill was on Twitch. Here's what he had to say about his health.
My recovery's going good, bro. Like I said earlier in the stream, I got to have one more surgery. You know what I'm saying? I have more updates on that on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys follow me, have been following me throughout this journey, man. It hasn't been as rough as people try to make it seem, you know what I'm saying? But I will say with me, filling my time with, DJing and, traveling to all these different places, I will say that it has made it a lot easier for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying my life. I'm enjoying myself, man. So, but yeah, I have more updates whenever I'm about to have surgery.
So we'll monitor the situation. We'll see what happens. This is definitely not a day one free agency. We're running out and we're signing Tyreek Hill. You certainly got some time to let things play out. I would also, like you, Rob, be a little bit surprised if he signed before the NFL draft. My stance on Tyreek Hill will be simple. We're interested. Have the surgery. Let's see how your body is responding. And there is no rush. They don't play football games for another 6 months. We got a long way to go until our football is back. We got 6.5 months until we start playing football. So go get your surgery, rest up, do the work. We'll bring you in the summer. We'll work you out. We'll have our physician look at you. We'll have our doctors look at you, and we'll make a determination on whether or not we want you on the team. Now, I have found something very interesting. Sometimes I figure out, Rob, in the course of the show. That's the beauty of live radio. I have finally figured out who Rob wants. I have finally figured out who Rob's big swing is. You guys know how I've been saying I want the Chiefs to go get Breece Hall. Maybe they go get Kenneth Walker on day one of free agency. Maybe they go get this guy on day one of free agency. Rob has communicated finally who he wants the Chiefs to go get. He's a very familiar person.
The Dolphins also plan to release their veteran pass rusher Bradley Chubb. That move not yet official. Miami could potentially wait to formally release Chubb until March 11th, allowing them to free up more cap space this season. Guard James Daniels, wide receiver Nick Westbrook-Ikini also officially released. It is a new day in Miami, not a surprise.
Now, I will throw this out there to you, Rob. This isn't even a question. This is just an observation. You know how we always talk about the things that the Chiefs and Brett Veach have never done? Oh, they've never drafted a corner in the first round, and then they did. They went out and they got Trent McDuffie. You want to know one thing the Chiefs have never done? They've never spent money on a veteran pass rusher. Every time they've gotten a pass rusher, it has either been their own pass rusher, they paid George Karlaftis, they paid Chris Jones, or when they traded for Frank Clark, where Frank Clark was having a dispute with this team, didn't want to sign the franchise tag, and then they got him. So they got him when he was, 25, 26 years old. That is not Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb missed all of 2024 with the torn ACL. He was hurt in 2019. He was hurt in 2021. He has had 3 seasons that was significantly affected by injuries. Now, last year, he was good. He had 8.5 sacks last year. He had 20 quarterback hits last year, had a forced fumble or 2. Bradley Chubb was good. Do you think they, not you, do you think they are willing to take a chance in a way that they have never taken a chance? They have never once signed a player like Bradley Chubb. They have made a trade for DeAndre Hopkins. They've done certain things on offense. They re-signed this guy. They've done this. They have never been willing to sign the 30-year-old guy outside their organization and pay him what I think Bradley Chubb is going to be worth. Bradley Chubb is not taking a hometown discount. He is also not taking the, I want to play with Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to take 40% on the dollar. No, he's a pass rusher, a proven pass rusher that has shown the ability to get to the other team's quarterback. If you get a healthy version of Bradley Chubb, he's shown you he will get you 7.5 sacks or more. That guy ain't cheap in free agency. He also is not signing a 1-year deal. He is signing a 2 or 3-year deal with somebody. Do you think the Chiefs are willing to make that kind of move? Because they've never done it.
That's a great point about how the Chiefs don't operate that way. 'Cause I don't know is the answer. I don't think they will because they never have. But also there was a time in Kansas City history where we said they've never drafted a corner in round 1 because they always just make them. And they drafted one in round 1. I mean, it's I feel like a generation ago at this point, we've always said the Chiefs don't take a swing at quarterback. They did. They found a generational one. So sometimes there's always one move that breaks the mold. But you're right. Historically under Brett Veach, they don't seek this player out for that cost at that age. I would tell you, though, if Brett Veach is listening and he's saying, yeah, I never do that, Carrington's right, I would say what you've been doing has not been right recently. What you did leading into last season was wrong. There's an episode of Seinfeld, I know you don't watch Seinfeld, where George does the opposite. He starts changing his whole life, and everything starts going better for Costanza. It's no more tuna on toast. It's chicken salad on rye. He changes everything, and it's a funny little episode. If I'm Brett Veach, how I operated last offseason, which is I don't sign 30-year-old pass rushers to lucrative deals that have spotty injury history. I seek out 6'1", 111-pound speed wide receiver like Hollywood Brown in free agency. I only re-sign guys that have ever seen the Kansas City Chiefs playbook. If that was how you handled February and March of 2025, I would say time to do the opposite, Costanza. Let's do different. Let's sign a big body wide receiver like you want. Let's invest in running back like you want. Let's sign a pass rusher who might have a little bit of flaws in his game like I want. I think you're right to say they've never done it, but I would say what they did last season was wrong. And 6-11 proves they were wrong.
I think you could also argue what they've done for the most part at pass rusher since Brett Veach has taken over. He's been wrong. He's been wrong. Brett Veach has some clear strengths and clear abilities in their staff to be able to find guys. They do not find great pass rushers or proven productive pass rushers, or they just haven't been able to keep them. I thought Wharton showed you an ability to be able to get after the quarterback, and they let him walk in free agency and go to the Carolina Panthers. They thought they could make another Tashawn Wharton. They obviously failed in that. This is why I think this offseason they're going to have to try something different. They don't have enough picks to do it their way. You can do it your way when you got 11 picks. When you had as many picks as the year when you traded Tyreek Hill, and you've got 11 swings, yeah, you can do it your way. You can take a chance at getting a Trent McDuffie, and you can do all of these things. Man, they got 6 picks. I would say they have 4 valuable picks. I know they got 6. I'm not considering the 146th pick and 176. Those are not valuable picks. They have 3 picks in the top 75 and they have 4 picks in the top 110. You can do some damage with those. Whether it is trading back and picking up more assets, whether it is getting day one starters to help you, like with their 9th overall pick, 40th pick, and the 74th overall pick, those are 3 guys that should be expected to help next year. Certainly at 9 and 40 and at 74. Now, let's see what position they end up getting. But if they draft a running back at 74, the expectation is that guy can help. And not in December. That guy can help you in September. That guy should be able to help. So maybe just due to their limited resources in the draft, and you're not going to be able to solve every problem. You're not going to be able to fix wide receiver with your 6 picks and solve running back with your 6 picks and get younger on the defensive line. The purpose of free agency is to make over for some of the mistakes that you've made in the draft. The biggest mistakes that they've made in the draft are on the defensive line. So you're going to have to spend some money potentially to get yourself out of it. And if you were telling me that their plan for the offseason is Bradley Chubb and David Bailey, they have significantly upgraded their defense over the course of the offseason. Significantly.
It's one of the reasons why, and maybe this is me talking out both sides of my mouth a little bit, but like one of the reasons why I think the Chiefs are in for a little bit of a cleanse offseason and then really attack 2027, which I know has not been a popular sentiment when I say it. It's a little bit of a reset year, is because of everything you just said. You can't fix all your problems with 6 picks. And I know the text line will say, trade Trent McDuffie, get more picks. That's creating new problems that you have to address with picks. So it's one of the reasons why I don't think this Chiefs team is a Super Bowl caliber team in 2026. I think they are going to understand that the problems they have exceed the ways they have to fix the problems between their cap situation, their pick situation, and they're going to cleanse. But if they're going to be aggressive and try to fix for 2026, you're right. They have to be very picky about where we're going to spend our resources, because they do need a receiver. They do need a running back. They do need an edge rusher. They're probably going to need a linebacker. They need a safety. They're going to need a corner. Like, they have a lot of needs, and they are a team that is lacking in resources with the ability to fix all those needs. That's why I think it's a cleanse, half step back kind of season from the healthy Mahomes seasons of old.
Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about some potential franchise tag options in the National Football League. There's some names that you know, and it would appear that Seattle is not going to put the franchise tag on Kenneth Walker after winning Super Bowl MVP. We'll do all that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey guys, this is Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Daniel Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. February romance once again. Buy one toilet, get one half off. Who needs more jewelry? Nothing is more romantic than a beautiful toilet. Be original with your gift. What could go wrong? You know it's what your person really wants. So call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This update is brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet.
Ollie's deals are so good, you won't believe the prices.
This has to be a joke.
It's no joke. Ollie's Bargain Outlet sells famous brand name merchandise at up to 70% off the fancy store prices. Hurry in.
Ollie! Good stuff, cheap! Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Your car crashed to working 35 southbound up at Vivian. It is the right lane that's blocked. Shawnee, that's big problems there, big backups. 35 southbound at 635, that's a stall. Off to the right shoulder, headed into Overland Park, that's another stall. 35 southbound at 75th. Scoot to the left through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, so there are a handful of players who make sense for the franchise tag. For those of you that don't know what the franchise tag is, this is what it is. If you are a free agent, teams have the ability to place the franchise tag on you, which is a 1-year contract. That is the average year per salary of the top 5 players at your position. So the Chiefs could, for example, put the franchise tag on Hollywood Brown if they wanted to, but you're not franchise tagging Hollywood Brown. I just wanted to give you an example. So these are some guys who could get the tag. George Pickens, who Schefter is reporting that the Cowboys are going to use the tag and then use it to negotiate with them. The Chiefs did use the franchise tag last year on Trey Smith. The Colts have Daniel Jones or Alec Pierce. Kyle Pitts is a possibility. Kenneth Walker is one. Trey Hendrickson is one. Also, Breece Hall. Now, quick thought about Kenneth Walker, and then we'll talk specifically about the Chiefs. Kenneth Walker had a phenomenal final 6 games of the NFL season. I think most people would agree that Kenneth Walker is not a top 5 back in the National Football League, and I think he's a really, really good player. But I'm not paying Kenneth Walker a floor of $14.5 million next season. So I still think there's a chance he goes back to Seattle. Maybe the franchise tag is a little bit too expensive. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's just never put together a monster season. He hasn't had the 1,300 yards with 11 touchdowns. He just hasn't been that guy. He's a good running back who had a great postseason. And Seattle was in a little bit of a bind because of the Zach Charbonnet injury, but they're also a really smart organization. And I say this every year. The worst thing that you can do is give a good player a great contract. And I think treating Kenneth Walker like he's Saquon Barkley is a terrible decision if you are an organization. So I understand them not wanting to franchise tag him, but you still obviously can negotiate a contract with them, and he can come back to Seattle. We'll see if Breece Hall ends up being franchise tagged with the Jets. We still got some chances to see that. Sometimes I know there's some reports out there that he has been franchise tagged. No, not yet. We'll see what happens, but it could be heading in that direction. Rob, out of this list, if you were telling me that the Chiefs are really going to take one big swing, now I like Breece Hall. I think that's a realistic big swing for them. Of all the possibilities, I think Trey Hendrickson is the best big swing that they could possibly take. I like Breece Hall, but he's also a running back. And if you told me that their plan was to go get Emmett Johnson from Nebraska at running back, that's not a bad plan that they're going to do. So I could see the other side of it. Trey Hendrickson is the free agent that best fits what I think the Chiefs need. A day one instant, just add water pass rusher, and you don't got to do anything else. Just tell him to line up on that side and get to the other team's quarterback. You're not taking a chance with the Amenahu or a Mike Dana or any of those kind of guys. No. He is one of the 10 best pass rushers in the National Football League. You put him on the other side, you got him, you got Karlaftis, you got Chris Jones. If there is one player I would be willing to break the bank for, because signing Breece Hall is not breaking the bank. I would even say signing Kenneth Walker is not breaking the bank. We're talking about him getting less than $50 million. I think Trey Hendrickson could cost somebody a lot of money. He's the only player in free agency I'd be willing to spend that money for.
Not Alec Pierce?
I wouldn't.
I'm not saying Alec Pierce is some game breaker, but he's going to cost that.
It depends on who I am. I would not spend that if I'm Kansas City. Like, if I'm Kansas City and I've spent the first-round pick on a wide receiver, a second-round pick on a wide receiver, I am now not turning around to give Alec Pierce, who finally put it together in his last year, I'm not paying him top money, not at all.
I think he would. I don't think the Chiefs are going to do this, nor am I going to advocate and pound the table for this to happen. But I just think if you were making a list of the just add water, microwave, and they're ready.
He's had one really big season.
But he's been productive beyond that. He had a couple 800-yard seasons. Let's not talk like he was Brady Anderson.
I'm looking at it.
He had one.
I'm looking at it. He had 593. He had 514. He then took a jump to 824. And then this year, he had 47 catches for 1,000 yards. So he had a big-time season. I'm not telling you I think Alec Pierce is big, but there is going to be a team, and we see this every single year, where you and I scratch our head and say, Washington got who? Tennessee just signed who? That player feels like Alec Pierce this year. He absolutely feels like the guy that somebody is just going to completely overpay for, and then a year and a half we're going to look back and think that was a really, really bad contract.
I don't totally disagree. My point was just this. I think there are maybe two to four guys where you call it just add water. I call it a microwave guy.
Same concept. Yeah, for sure.
It's just ready to go. I think there are 4 in free agency for the Chiefs. I think Alec Pierce in that category, where if he's wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, I know he's going to be productive in this offense. He's an actual deep threat. He's a good wide receiver. I think he's too expensive, though. Trey Hendrickson, I think he would fix a lot of the Chiefs' ills. I don't think the Chiefs, to your point about being no on Bradley Chubb, Trey Hendrickson is older than Bradley Chubb. Now, he's more productive, but I don't think they're going to do that either. I think the other two are, to your point, Breece Hall. I also think Travis Etienne fits in this category as well. Those are the guys that are the microwave. You take your big swing, you throw him on the field day one. It's like Madden. You sign a guy, put him at the top of your depth chart, boom, production. I think there's only 2 to 4 in this class. I think other than that, you kind of got to be choosy and you got to be discerning about how to add players and make them valuable for your roster.
I'm just looking at the money-wise, and I think you and I are on the same page. I would be surprised if the Chiefs went out and traded and got Alec Pierce. But I'm looking at the money. If I'm Alec Pierce's agent, why am I taking less than Jalen Waddle? Why am I taking less than Jameson Williams? Like, I think my client is on the exact same. Like, if we did a blind test and I showed you Jameson Williams and Alec Pierce over the last 4 seasons, I do not think you notice a difference. And I think a lot of people would pick Alec Pierce in that blind taste test. Jameson Williams got 3 years, $80 million, and got $65 million guaranteed. I'm not doing that contract if I'm Kansas City. I also haven't completely closed the book on re-signing Rashee Rice to a long-term extension. I know some people have.
Whoa, I'm one of the people who's closed the book.
This offseason, I'm not interested in it.
Okay, now I got you.
Yeah, this year, I let Rashee Rice play out the rest of this deal, and I just see how 2026 goes. I just see how the rest of it goes. Now, it's not off to a great start for Rashee Rice, but I'm not against treating him like he's George Pickens. He plays out this season. Maybe you franchise tag him next year, and then you just continue to kind of play this thing and monitor it to see how it goes. But given Alec Pierce what I think the market is going to tell you that he's worth and making him one of the 15 highest paid receivers in the league, I'd be very, very stunned if Kansas City did that. I also don't think the Colts are going to do it. They've already paid Michael Pittman. He got paid a couple of years ago. They are not paying Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce for Indianapolis, especially when you have the third highest paid running back in the league too.
No, I'm not sitting here advocating for Alec Pierce. I think he fits in that microwave, just add water category. I would say this about Alec Pierce, and again, I don't want this to come off like I'm sign Alec Pierce on day one. Isn't what you're saying about the cost for Alec Pierce just what it costs to have an elite wide receiver? Like, I'm betting you said next offseason you're open to signing Rashee Rice. Let's just use him as the example.
I didn't say that. I'm not closed to sign. I just want to be clear here. I'm not like,
closed.
Let's do it. I'm saying is I have not.
You're not closed.
I'm saying there's some people on the text line that all the off the field stuff, the juice is not worth the squeeze. I'm ready to move on from Rashee Rice. I am not trading Rashee Rice this offseason. I'm not renegotiating anything with Rashee Rice this season. Let's see how this season goes, and then I'm willing to have a different conversation this time a year from now.
That's fair. I guess my point is this. Because of the price of wide receiver, whatever you're potentially not closed, open, whatever verbiage to next year for Rashee Rice is probably going to be a contract very similar to Alec Pierce gets this offseason. I think that's just the going rate at the position because, I mean, I don't think Rashee Rice is a bad wide receiver, but I think if you were to be like, hey, what contract is he going to get right now, next year, what are we ballparking? It would give a lot of Chiefs fans, huh? Really? That's the number? I bet Rashee Rice's agent is also staring at Jameson Williams' contract. I don't think Rashee Rice has earned Jameson Williams' contract, but I think that's just the going rate of wide receiver in 2026.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that bubble might burst one day, and we might see regression like we saw with running back. But for now, whether it's Alec Pierce or Rashee Rice, I think fans need to get over the big number because that's just what it costs.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I do think there's a chance the bubble could burst. I just think we'll just move the bubble then. Like, it's a salary cap league, and you got to spend the money. So, yeah, right now, the hot thing is at wide receiver. The hot thing could change, for sure. The hot thing could absolutely change. But if the bubble's going to burst at wide receiver, it is then going to pick up in a completely different way. And you don't think it's picking up at running back. Like, there's not a time in which running backs are getting paid that way. Maybe it picks up a little bit in tight end. But where else do we think the money is going to go if the money has to be spent right now? Teams spend a lot on left tackle and right tackle. Teams spend a lot on pass rusher. They spend a lot on corner. And at least right now, they have decided they're going to spend a lot of money on wide receivers. Somebody is going to pay Alec Pierce a lot of money. And we'll probably find out after the combine who that team potentially is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. But wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford. Fresh off a record-breaking year and a successful run at Ford's 2025 Top Volume Award. Rob, how did you do it?
Kevin, it's simple. We pulled out all the stops on price, on trade values, on inventory, and made sure our customers got an experience they couldn't find anywhere else.
Well, the race isn't over. 2026 is here, and you're back in the chase again.
That's right, and we're going even harder this year. More inventory, more aggressive trade-in values, and a buying experience other dealers just can't match.
Well, you're not just talking, you've got the receipts. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google, 4.8 stars with nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by KC Magazine.
The recognition matters, but what actually matters is how you feel when you call or visit Rob Seid Ford.
Inventory, value, transparency, and no pressure. That's why people keep coming back.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit us online at robsight.com.
Rob Seid Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Tonight, expect a mix of light rain and partly cloudy skies with a low of 47.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Heading out of town this winter? Snow, ice, and cold temps are stressful enough. Airport parking shouldn't be. Park & Go makes it easy with online reservations, fast free shuttles, and all spots are covered to keep your car protected from winter weather. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This brought to you by Peters Clothiers. We've got the crash still working, 435 eastbound past Knoll. It is in the left lane, so scoot to the right through there to get through quicker. The last 3 days of the winter sale is happening now. At Peters Clothiers, save up to 50% off all suits, sport coats, and sportswear. Save big with sizes to fit every man. Peters Clothiers, 124th and State Line. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Did anybody happen to watch the Iowa State-Houston game? A few thoughts. I'm really excited for the Big 12 tournament. I've already been piecing together some plays from the Ticket Ferry. I can't wait. Regardless of who the championship game is, it's going to be exciting. Regardless of what 4 teams we get in the semifinals, it is going to be incredible. Regardless of what teams we get in the quarterfinals, it is going to be every night in the Big 12. You got Arizona going up against Texas Tech. You got Kansas going up against Iowa State. You got Kansas going up against BYU every single night. It's been great basketball. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is, did you guys see the camera angle they were using yesterday? It felt like we had an obstructed view to the game. Was I the only one that noticed that guy's pom-pom just kept being in the way? Like, you couldn't even see the basket sometimes. Nobody at ESPN can go over and tap Big Dog on the shoulder and say, hey, man, hey, we're going to go get you some popcorn. We're going to go get you a beer. But right now, this pom-pom, it's blocking the television view. So we're going to take care of you. We want you to be a fan. We want you to have a good time. You paid for this seat. You're not doing anything wrong. We would appreciate it if you could put the pom-pom down, and we'll take care of some stuff for you. Rob, did you notice that yesterday? That guy's pom-pom just kept being in the way. We couldn't see the game.
Dude, it was the worst when Houston has the ball down 2, and they have a possession to take the lead with like 30 seconds left. There's a guy on the wing.
You just can't see half the screen.
I'm like, oh my God, is this guy going to shoot? I think it was Kingston Fleming. So, like, is he going to shoot? Who knows? It's behind a pom-pom. And I watched the KU game on Saturday from the exact same arena. No pom-pom issues. Just apparently that's unique to Iowa State, Houston.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was crazy. It was a very, very exciting game. The Big 12 has been very enjoyable to watch this year.
I mean, another big one tonight, Baylor and K-State.
Okay, here you go. You've been throwing a lot of shots these last 10 days at Kansas State. They've earned them, but you've been throwing a lot of shots. You want to know why? You got off real easy yesterday because I was on your timeline, Robert Brenton, when Darren Peterson changed his avatar to Michael Myers. You got to bet the over. Why is this 7.5? What? You jumped into the deep end of the pool in Kansas for that Kansas-Iowa State game, and they got smoked off the rip. A shellacking. Hopefully, Rob, you got 2 spankings on Saturday because you certainly got one in the morning. I know that much. I don't know how Valentine's Day night went for you, but you certainly got 1 spanking.
I mean, I definitely made a contribution to the FanDuel fund.
100%. FanDuel donations is what you were making.
I asked my tax guy if I can write it off. Hey, these are just charitable donations. I'm giving money away.
That man changed his avatar to Michael Myers and went out there and shot 3 for 10. You let him do that?
It was bad. That's the worst game he's played.
Then, see, this is why you got to hold him to the same standard. Then Self started making all the excuses in the world after the game. He started making all the excuses.
He hadn't practiced. He was battling back.
Yeah, he was making all the excuses in the world. Hey, man, we just didn't have it tonight. That team might be a little better than us.
I don't know if they're better than the KU, but it's
close. It's very close between those two.
They're the same. They're like very, very close.
Yeah.
Like
they're both really good at home, struggle on the road.
That's college basketball
for sure.
though, too. Like,
for sure. I mean, Iowa State does this every single year. I'm not falling for this. I know exactly. They do this every single year.
They'll win the Big 12 tournament, and everyone's going to buy it.
Yeah.
That's definitely coming.
Oh, they're going to win the Big 12 tournament. They're going to get a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament and lose in the Sweet 16 to Wisconsin. I mean, this happens every single year. You're not fooling me with Iowa State. Not at all. You are not fooling me. Rob, you already got your Big 12 tickets? I would start getting them now because you already know once Ames, Iowa descends on Kansas City, you will be unable to attend any of the games.
I have not bought yet, but I'll tell you this. Every year I just keep my fingers crossed. I don't want KU and Iowa State in the same session.
I would tell you, I would just start buying those sessions right now.
I can't afford the second mortgage to be in that session.
Yeah, you can't go. You might as well just go and get the all session pass and just go do it right now. You got to sell the ones you can't go to. Because I'm telling you, right, you will not be able to pay for it. If they got Iowa State, BYU, and you get to see the potential number 1 overall pick, I know that Darren Peterson could be AJ DeBansta. Yeah, you won't be able to afford going to that game.
Imagine the other session is Kansas, Arizona, too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're done. You're cooked.
And that's before we even consider that, like, another one of the schools pops up and brings fans.
Yeah, for sure. You're cooked.
I mean, Houston always brings a good amount of fans, too.
Do you get the lowers when you go to the game or you sit upstairs?
When it's, historically lowers, but this year might be changing the calculus.
I'm sitting here looking at it right now. For about $350, you can get an all session pass for the Big 12. You can get the all session.
I mean, a singular, like I'm just walking around by myself all.
Well, yeah, you gotta get 700. You gotta get you and your wife. Why don't you get her ticket and it's going on the press pass? Going on the press. They put you up near to that Garth Brooks poster. Yeah.
You're not down on the floor anymore.
Have you ever been up there before?
I did one press pass.
That thing is above. So you know how the Sprint Center has an elevator, y'all. I know you don't care about media problems where they put you. There is like 2 levels above that level. That's where they put the press for the Big 12. You'll be up there. You can touch the ceiling. Nah, I'm okay. I'll watch this game at home. I'm not sitting up here to watch this basketball game. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's the